What is up? What is up, everybody? Tis I, Photo Dave. Tonight we're bringing on a special guest, John Spencer, who you guys recognize in the chat. I'll bring him on here shortly. First, I want to make sure and say hello to the crew out there. And I want to make sure if you're checking this out on the replay, what we do on Mondays is we go over the figures that went up in the past week that we all think are going to look good under your lights and in front of your lenses because Toypixx, hey, we're all about the whole action figure photography thing over here. And speaking of, before I bring John on, I have to do a proper plug because that's just the way things work in showbiz, right? And since, I figure this is basically showbiz at this point. Now, let me see here. Let us present this bad boy. Wrong bad boy. There we go. All right. Because it's me, because I'm shameless, because things happen like that. This is this month's Patreon photo contest theme. That is action. Now, what the winner will receive, the winner of this contest gets an M. Bison, the Player 2 version, the exclusive Big Bad Toy Store one. It's already on the way. It's supposed to be here tomorrow. So that's what the winner gets. So what you do is you take one photo. There's rules. Just find this image in the Patreon page or on the Toypixx Patreon page. Check out all the details there. Email your submission to toypixx@gmail.com. But that pretty much takes care of the shameless pluggage. Now, real quick, let's see what we've got. Oh, man, we've got all the people coming in and hanging out. So why don't we just go ahead and do this? Let us add the good Mr. Spencer to the stage. You guys, we can talk to him, find out a bit more about what's going on with old John, and we go from there. So here we go. Mr.
Hey,
Spencer,
Dave, how's it going?
how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. You can hear me okay?
Uh-oh.
You can't hear me?
All right, John, how you doing, man? I can hear you okay.
We might have a little bit of a delay. That's weird. But hey, how's it going?
Let's make an adjustment. You hate when that happens. But we're here.
Yeah.
We've got it. We'll figure it out as we go. So, John, let everybody know what it is that you do besides chat with all of us. So let's hear about your adventures in the whole hobby thing and go from there. And then we'll talk to the chat and get moving.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I've only been really action figure collecting in the recent times for a couple of years now. I mean, maybe right as COVID hit, I started. Before that, I get the figure here or there, but it's sort of like my second or third hobby, so to speak. But it's really sort of taken off, as you've seen. Really been interested in the photography area. That a lot of guys, you and others on Twitter and all, sort of sold me on that. So I'm starting to try and take more and more pictures of various things, inspired by what you guys are doing.
Okay. I like it. Well, it's good to have you here, man. I genuinely appreciate it, folks. I put out the call to everybody. Feel free if you ever want to jump on the live stream. Again, email toypixx@gmail.com. John was kind enough to do so. So here we go. We're going to have some fun now. I think I figured out my technical glitch on my end. It was simply having to turn up the volume. So now let's play. That's what happens when you basically just talk to yourself all the time on this thing. You just never know what's happening.
Well, that's true. I mean, my old podcast, we used to start a half an hour early just to make sure we could fix the technical issues.
Yeah. I probably need to consider things like that maybe in the future when I'm feeling all professional.
When you've got time, it's hard. Time is the hardest thing to get.
Time is a pain. So let's go. Let's see what we've got going on here from our man Sci-Fi George. Greetings and toytations, everyone. Greetings and toytations, Sci-Fi. I got Cammy from Jada, good man, and Cable Marvel Legends, very nice on Friday. It was a Marvel versus Capcom kind of day. Chun-Li is a Thigh Master, and Cammy is a cheeky covert agent. I can't disagree, though I still don't have Cammy. I've seen pictures. What are you thinking, John? I know you picked up at least Chester, and you've gotten, I know Pink Chun-Li made your list and all that. Are you
Yeah, I've
going?
got Pink and Blue Chun-Li. I've got Ken and Ryu. Looking at getting some of the others, but
Okay.
just juggling all the lines.
All right. Yeah, juggling is where it's at pretty much. Hey, it's you.
That's me.
What the? You guys were on early. Awesome. Let's see. The last time Lord is here. What's going on, Anton? Good to see you. What's going on, Mr. McDysentery? Oh dear. Hello, all you shiny, happy people. I don't why you gotta put these songs in my head? This is bad
52s.
juju.
It's a classic nowadays.
It is. It is. It's like the oldies stations. You walk into the local supermarket and hear that. Let's
Yeah,
see.
it hurts. It hurts in my soul.
I know. It leaves a mark. Let's see. I want that Maximum Spider-Man. Just worried about the price. I'm curious about that. Did you see the Legends live stream at all, John?
I didn't see the live stream at all, but I saw that Spider-Man, and my first thought was, man, that's awesome. Who's putting that out? Oh, wait, Hasbro? Do what now?
The proportions. So, I mean, and everybody knows that my thing is like the ball peg waist.
Mm-hmm.
I need the ball peg waist. They still didn't get it, but they nailed the proportions. All the stuff they're coming out with, like all the accessories that are coming with that figure. Yeah, they're stepping it up in a huge way.
I don't have a Spidey, so that's going to hit me in the wall, and I can feel it. I'm probably going to have to get that one.
I think, yeah, that's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one to start. Anybody that hasn't picked up any Marvel Legends, I think that's a good start to the old collection. So yeah, he looks phenomenal. I can't take it away from him.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yep. And I didn't catch it. I'm kind of ashamed of that right now.
Just assume all my puns are intended.
I'll take it.
Hey, Sci-Fi George.
All right. All right. So what do we got here? Oh dear, that Maximum Spidey is just too late for me. Already moved on to the Mofex Spidey. Really don't trust Hasbro to charge less than $50 for the admittedly awesome Legends Spidey anyways. There is the question. I mean, yeah, I do wonder what the price is going to be for all that extra stuff. Mm-hmm. I would assume you're looking at $40 to $50, but I don't know. Are you thinking that's about right, John?
I'm thinking that's about right. I think if it breaks much beyond 50, it's going to price itself out of there. I mean, because at that point you might as well save a little extra money and get an actual top tier fig. Yeah, that makes sense to me too. So hopefully they can keep it down there, because that thing. I mean, I was amazed. Good Lord, now you got me doing it. All right, Harry, am I the only one trying to see everything in John's background? John, I will note, this is my normal backdrop. Mm-hmm. It's just, all I did was change a couple things around to put my newest two figures in here. So I figured someone was going to ask. I got my top 12 up here with, Alf, Chester, Destro, etc. My new ones, the Rocketeer here with Butch, and then the Mezco Snake Eyes with Timber. And then, a bunch of stuff, some backgrounds over here, some plushies. I got a plushie Grimlock.
Nice. And
then a couple Transformers, and then all my pops, both of them, right there. Well, actually, I have one more, technically, Bob Ross, but,
Nice.
So, yeah, I normally have this behind me. I got this, pre-ordered this when it was announced. It's a great display. It's just fun to have, and I imagine, if you get it lit a little better than I do, you can take some good pictures with it. Mine have been, they've been decent.
Well, get there. I mean, I think, yours have been fine. Good Lord, it's happening again. Sorry, the computer decided to ring. Of course it would at that point. Let's see. I saw that Ron was coming to the action. Let's see. For your line, action figure line, I must have him. Yeah, Ron looks pretty cool too. I'm telling you. Legends they're putting something together. Okay, I wanted Miles Morales until I saw those birthing hips they gave him. Looks like he dropped a set of twins. Oh dear. I did not even notice it. I needed to look a little closer, or not. Maybe I didn't need to look a little closer to that kind of thing.
It's gonna be tough next time I take a look at that figure.
We're gonna have to go back and kind of fast forward through that live stream a little bit. See if we can find some pictures. I think Preternia posted a ton of pictures about all that stuff. We might check that out. Harry, that Maximum Spider-Man looks like an updated interpretation of a Toy Biz legend. I wonder. Yeah, that's not a bad call.
I had a 4-inch one, and he looks a lot like the 4-inch one I had. I gave it to a buddy at work because it's not in scale for me. And he loves Spidey, and I was like, it looks a lot like that now that I think about it.
Nice. Which one was the 4-inch? Was that the Marvel, like the other ones that Hasbro's been doing, like with Marvel Legends, or just before?
I got that years and years ago. I don't even remember. I went into my old stuff, broke it out, and I'm like, brought it to work, and he's like, "Oh, Spidey, I love Spidey." I'm like, "You can have him. He's not in scale for my stuff, dude."
He doesn't work for me, so you're allowed to keep him.
5 and change through 7, you can kind of make work. Though one of the guys I follow on Blue Sky, the Jeremy, he's like, scale doesn't matter. He's just doing all this stuff in his AEW wrestling ring, and it's just like, to a point, scale doesn't matter. You're right.
Right. And there's a lot that you can do with like photography, just tricks and all that stuff. But to a point, like he said, yeah, absolutely. Like you're saying too, like, yeah, it's tough. It's tough to make something that, say, is a 3-inch figure look like it's going to go with a 7-inch figure,
Yeah, that's a bit too much. But that 5 to 7-ish area, you can make it work. The SHF through Mezco, or not Mezco, NECA.
Yeah. That's right. Okay, let's see. The Hulk is rumored to be the next in the Maximum series. Ooh, what do you think? What do you think the Hulk would come with? I mean, he's going to have plenty of hands. Will the Hulk be able to do the thunderclap? That's
the thunderclap or the slam the ground. Got to be one of the two.
Oh yes. So he's definitely. I mean, he's for sure going to have the fists. Yeah. Sorry, I'm picturing it going. Okay, what do we got
the extra
here?
twists are great, but if they make him as good as the thing I got, a couple years, like came out years ago, I got him on eBay because I love the thing. Just extra heads and extra fists, just the basics is good enough, right? Extra stuff's great, but just get us to that point.
Right. No, that would look sweet. And I wonder how they would handle. So if he's smashing the ground, we looked at, you remember the Bondi effects that were up, or the Tamashi Nations, like the dirt explosion kind of thing?
Yeah.
I wonder if Hasbro would do something like that. Because you could see just crack and then something like that popping up, or if that's just up to all of us to do.
Or cheap, use a translucent, like they did Smoke Effects and all, to do like the ring of it, not the whole thing, just the ring around it. So you put it down wherever you want, and it's got sort of the ring.
Yeah. Like almost a Sonic Boom look, but not, Yeah, that'd be sweet. And you could have like little stands of it on the end. So it could be the super wide thing. You can Photoshop out stands. Oh, now I'm thinking that would be fun. That'd be sweet. Let's see. If Spidey is 50 or more, I'll wait for the Ollie's discount. I wonder how much he'll go on. Will he even make it to Ollie's? I don't know.
Everything does eventually. In order to get their price point down, they got to mass produce it, and eventually it's going to hit there. And the more expensive it is, the more likely it'll make it there because people won't buy it in the first place.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. I wonder, like you had a great point talking about how if it gets too high in price, you're just going to save a couple more bucks and go for something else, So it's going to have to, I'm
thinking it's going to be like those premier G.I. Joes, like the Mutton Junkyard, the recent Sergeant Slaughter, Stardust, everyone. They're at a solid price point. I've not been disappointed with any of them. Heck, two of them made my my top 12 list. They're sitting behind me.
Okay. Nice. Yep. And that was, what are those? Those are about 45 right now, right?
About 45, yeah. So I could see he's got a little more. I could see him going 50. It wouldn't be terrible. It's not great, but it wouldn't be terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a good point on the G.I. Joe figures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. On their price. Let's see. I never thought they would actually do that character. I recently rebought all the comics, some of them a little expensive because some of the covers were done by Frank Miller.
Yeah, Rom. Yeah, I was surprised when they put Rom out as well. Like,
Oh,
They got
that's
the
right.
license back, and I was like, yes, because he crossed over with everything when I started picking up comics. I would actually check out comics from the library because I'm old, and you'd see him and stuff, and be like, "Who's this?" And there's no internet to research. You try to find what you can in the library.
Yep.
Man.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't know much about Rom at all. So like that was kind of lost on me, and Kristar was a little lost on me as well.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh man, I don't know, but so many people get super hyped about that stuff. I'm going, well, okay, some people are fans. Ghost Ab, what's going on, man? Thank you for stopping in. We've got John hanging out this fine evening. Okay, so let's go. I've got this is not intended to be a shameless plug. I just have my newsletter open because that way I can keep track of what all I wanted to chat about this fine evening.
Never feel bad about the shameless plugs. That's why we're here, man.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll take it. Okay. So we've got the Empress, which you can find on BBTS. This is sweet. We'll go over kind of the quick overview of all of these, and then we'll go and do a little more of a deep dive. So I don't know, is that Zhang Zifan? I'm not sure. Zifan? I'm sure that's wrong. But
yeah, my Chinese is horrible.
right. Yeah, mine is non-existent. Drawman we've got, which just looks like another figure that any of you customize can, if you can get any of your customizers, if you can get your hands on it, that would be a great figure to customize. I think they did Gray Man, and I think he's the ideal one for customizing. Wouldn't you say, John?
Oh yeah, I'm not sure. It sort of depends on what you're doing and what your skills are like. If you've got good Sculpey skills, then having something like this guy, looks like he's got a ton of articulation, could be great. But if you're kind of middle, you'd want a step less articulation because you can't do those separate plates and everything. Okay. Mine are at the way before that. I could make a thing here or there. I've sculpted a tiny bit.
Right. That's not something that I've just never done. So when people are talking about, oh yeah, you just do this, I'm going, can I just buy the solution?
It's much more in the miniature hobby than in the which is my main hobby. Miniatures and miniature games. Like it's way more in that than it is in action figures. So I've seen a bunch on Instagram or whatever where they're just like making whole figures. I'm like, good Lord, man. Skills, you've got them.
Yeah, I am lacking in such things. Now, do you know, so I know I've talked a ton about Kamen Rider and knowing nothing. Do you know anything about Kamen Rider or not really?
Very little, though I do follow a bunch of, or randomly get a bunch of Sentai and Sentai related posts on Twitter/X that have piqued my interest. It's sometimes cheesy and terrible, but it looks like a freaking great time. They're just having fun with it. Well, it's like you watch it and you see all the standard tropes. You see them all posed together like, where's the pyro? Where's the pyro? Boom! There's the pyro. I missed Power Rangers. I'm a little old for Power Rangers. I did watch like the first season or two, but I was literally in high school when they came out, and I feel like they were aimed a little below high school. It's supposed to be aspirational, I felt, for kids like in middle school, junior high. So. But I still do enjoy it. But yeah, I've been checking out a little bit. I want to check out Shin Kamen Rider because I think that's something I can stream and is supposedly very, very violent.
Is that the one? So there was one that was kind of going to not restart, but kind of make it fresh for new audiences, kind of retelling the original Kamen Rider story. Was that was a movie last year, right?
Yeah, I think that's Shin Kamen Rider, but I'm not sure. I'm sure Ghost Tav or someone will correct us.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah, we'll see that in the chat. People are like, "Oh, these guys." Okay, so we got that. We've got now. I know that Crying Hound, Leatherhead, and the Stump Turtles have all gone up before with NECA. I am just now in Michigan seeing the Stump Turtles 4-pack. Like I saw it around Christmas, and now it's getting a little more plentiful. I've seen Leatherhead now. But so you guys, you can find these things at Target. It's just kind of a crapshoot. I do sometimes wish I were a little closer to where these things get delivered. But On the other hand, with photography, I guess I don't need to be the first one to have stuff.
No, mine's a wasteland. Like the Target I go to, usually just good stock of most things. With the action figure aisles are always like a wasteland of just random stuff. You see some good stuff here or there, but I don't go there expecting to find anything. I use the internet for most of it.
Right. Yeah, so do I. So do I. I mean, I'm going to be, I think you've been on when I've talked about this, the office that I'm going to be moving into. I can walk down a hill and be in a Target. And this mall is amazing for all the stuff it's got. But hopefully that'll get me so I'm there a couple more times a week and looking and hopefully able to find some stuff so I don't have to be super patient with the whole pre-ordering thing.
Well, sometimes you just want to walk into a store and get something.
Right.
You know, I posted that when I did my pick of the day, where it's like sometimes you just want that retail therapy. That's why I keep so many things unopened. So when I have that feeling, instead of having to go out and buy something, I just go open something I have. Take
That's not a bad call, actually. I've always felt like, okay, it's home, time to rip it open as quickly as I can, but I kind of like the way you're thinking about that.
Well, there's so many guys sharing stuff on various social media when things are on sale, and I just note it, or if it's big enough sale, something I want, I get it, and then I just put it in a pile, and as I need to open stuff, I open stuff.
Yeah. That's not a bad plan. I might need to start, especially until I get recording the YouTube stuff. I probably need to start doing more of that. That would be entertaining. Just be like, it's the weekend. I can chill. Time to open a figure. I like it. Okay, we've got Tokiwa Kazune. I don't know. From let's see. This is a snail shell figure. We'll definitely look at this. We'll look at the metal blob. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not one for checking my spelling, apparently, when I'm trying to get these out. We've got the Metal Blade Mega Man that we'll talk about from Threezero. And then we've got, I believe this is some kind of exclusive Mega Man X, also from Threezero. But a couple things that we saw, or that I saw, and we'll head right there. Oh, what have I done? I have typed poorly. We will go in here. There
we go.
And we're going to check out a little bit of BBTS-age. We've got stuff that we might want to see. Actually, John, with you coming on tonight, there was an Alf, a NECA Alf that came out.
I saw him. Ultimate 80s Alf. You just passed him.
Oh, I did? Okay, hold on. Where did he go?
Towards the bottom.
Bottom. Where are you, Alf? Where are you, Alf? Oh, there he is. Yep. I figured I had just seen this thing show up, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of perfect.
Yeah, I mean, they still haven't delivered Rocker Elf yet, so I'm like, you're announcing new elves. Well, there's still elves in the pipeline. You can't be doing that to me. At least I know I can save the money, but
well, and with the
I have a brand, it's Alf.
Right. But with NECA's crazy situations with shipping right now and everything with the lab, who knows what to trust?
Indeed. It is a little worrisome.
Yeah.
Rubik's Cube and everything. Oh my gosh.
I had not seen that picture. Yes.
So the funny thing is, one of the Cosmic Con one came with the big block cell phone too.
Okay.
That's the first one I got. I was sitting at home and it popped up as one of like limited amounts available. I'm like, I love Alf. This looks great. Bought it. And I'm like, this is amazing.
And now this is the fourth Alf, right?
Fifth.
Wow. Okay.
Because you had the regular Alf, the Cosmic Con exclusive one, then Super Alf, then Rocker Alf has been on pre-order for a minute. And now this guy's number 5.
Okay, I think, you had just brought up the Cosmic Con. I think that's the one I was not thinking about.
Yeah, it's the one that most people don't, because I think their second one, because I remember probably Toy Galaxy showed first Alf, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm. And then that came out probably that year at Comic-Con.
That is crazy. They need to, if they had all their stuff figured out.
Pizza? Look at that pizza.
That looks like that goes good for any turtle collection.
Oh, yeah, that's. I mean, I'm gonna say that's a must buy now. It was a must buy before for me, but I mean, that's what I love about it. Like the price point is solid. It's not the most posable figure. In fact, I would say it's one of the least posable figures, but it's got so much character, and they put the accessories in there, and it's all just so on point.
Well, and that's just kind of NECA's thing, man. Like I've talked about, I don't like waist cuts, but I love Mirage turtles. So I load up on them. We get all kinds of crazy accessories like these, and it kind of, I don't like to, we all have exceptions to our rules. I don't like, or guidelines. I like to think that rules are made for the other people.
Really more of guidelines.
but it's like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't like breaking them, but there's something about what NECA does quality-wise when it comes to the paint job and everything that just makes me not care. I'm okay with breaking the law.
Yeah.
Breaking the rules, breaking the guidelines.
If it brings you joy, it's all good. Actually, we'll get to it in a second, but I want to bring it up now. Ghost Have noticed he asked, didn't NECA sell that out online? I recognize the TV with the cartoon playing. I know they were going to. I didn't see when it went online. I think it happened when I was super busy at work. But I remember them saying during the fall they were going to have an ALF. And then I never saw it. And it sort of slipped my mind. But I think you're right, Ghost Have. I think this is the one.
Okay. Oh, that's craziness. Sell the ALF. But at least they've got him up now. All right. Let's see. Now that we've got ALF on the screen with all this stuff, let's catch up to the people. See what's going on. John, the X-Men, Micronauts, and ROM were the best comics back in the day. I didn't read. John, did you read Micronauts?
A little bit. It was confusing because I came in towards the middle. I never really understood, but they all had cool designs. Like, I would love to see Micronauts figures in 6-inch scale just because they all have cool designs. Some of them show up occasionally. Bug, who's the green bug-looking one, shows up from time to time. Baron Karza, you mentioned the Super 7 one, but like he's just got a great Darth Vader style look that would just be great to have.
Yeah, a lot of those. I mean, they look cool. I don't know much about Micronauts. Obviously, we talked about I didn't know much about ROM, but X-Men was my thing way back when. So as far as comics were concerned, I was good with those. I assume you were pretty good with X-Men too.
Oh, yeah. They're super early. They weren't the first comics I read. Unshockingly, the first comics that were like G.I. Joe, and then actually we had a local comic store called the Magic Page. They had a ton of back issues, super cheap, and I would buy a ton of like Tomb of Dracula and stuff issues as well. So
that's sweet.
Yeah, X-Men definitely, and then the classic X-Men was the best idea Marvel ever had to get everyone caught up on X-Men. It was amazing.
Yep. I picked up several of those. Then I was confused about it at the beginning. Then I figured it out. It took a little bit though. Not all that bright.
It's amazing how we figured all that out back in the day with no internet, right? You just gonna have to. What's this about?
They're like, wait a second. I'm pretty sure this already happened because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was fun. No, yeah. My first comic starred these guys.
Oh, so I was pretty. Man, the Transformers comics were very different than the cartoon. Oh my!
Yeah, I think I actually enjoyed. There were parts of the Transformers comics I did enjoy, but I genuinely think I enjoyed the cartoons better.
I would agree, even though the cartoons were way more kidified. I think the comics went too far the direction.
Right, they got dark in a hurry.
Yeah.
It kind of seems like,
you get to issue 3, you've got Gears teaming up with Spider-Man, and then Gears dies at the end. You're like, what?
And Prime saved on a floppy disk. That's always important.
Yes. I mean,
Let's see. All right. Hello, John. I see some Transformers on the back. Macross, 7X Transformers prototype figure shown. Ooh, what do you think? What do you think of that one, John?
That's cool. I'll have to take a look. I mean, the real weird thing about the later Valkyries, which are what the Macross fighters are called, ones that look like original Jetfire, the later ones get so much slimmer, and they sort of don't have they they don't look like they have the easy transformation. Jetfire just works, right? Everything just transforms so well. I would hold him up even right now as one of the best designed Transformers. Just works.
Mhm.
And they just keep getting slimmer and more a little weirder. So I'm interested to see what they look like. I'm trying to remember what the Macross 7 Valkyries. They're the YF-21s, I think, or sorry, the F-21, the Valkyrie 21s, the F-21s at that point, because they're not. Just trying to get my Macross timeline together. They could be cool. I know they've done some Transformer ones of those before.
You said it was 7, right? Macross 7.
Macross 7, yeah, which I have on Blu-ray, but I haven't watched all of yet. I've watched like the first half of it twice, but life happened and I had to stop.
Okay.
So it's probably the VF-21, which is so I'm going to nerd out for a quick second. The good thing about Macross, if you watch Macross and then you watch Macross Plus, which is a short series, they have a movie, but the series is better, and it's very much mirrors the Stealth Fighter program, where they had the YF-19 versus the YF-21, the Raptor versus, I forget what the other one was called. They both look very similar to those fighters. Oh yeah. Those actually do look pretty good. And that's progressed. So like they do the testing in that series, and then in the next series they're using the fighter as like the standard fighter. It's very cool.
Nice. I do need to. You guys have all talked a lot about all that stuff. I gotta watch it. I know that I would enjoy it just from what everybody said about it. Like, yeah, I mean, gotta get on this.
Robotech, which is based off of Macross, is my formative childhood. It is wonderful because it is both for kids, but also has adult themes in it. Not like, but like in a course of a couple episodes, a couple main characters die, and you're like, holy shit. It'd be like if in Voltron they actually had Sven die like he did in the Japanese version. It's serious business. Yeah.
So that's why he was replaced by, what was her name?
By the princess, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so but like they had that, and it was all like, and it just happened, and then like a couple episodes later, another main character dies. You're like, holy shit. It sets the stage well, like a lot of the good books, like Lord of the Rings, Boromir dying and everything, and you think Gandalf's dead. You're like, holy crap. Like that introduces a kid to the fact that your heroes can die, and that's really good. And it was really good formatively for me, Can't all be G.I. Joe, everyone ejects.
Right. Yeah, I guess this is true. So the reason I brought this up, you were talking about it, and I thought, okay, let's see if this is it. I think this is, so it's Prime based on this design, isn't it? Isn't that kind of what people are thinking?
Probably. It's probably based off this design, because it is probably the VF-19. I think it's the 19. I guess the 21 is the other one.
Okay.
My brain had them backwards. But yeah, so that looks like the normal design. I'm trying to remember because it was Macross 7, yeah.
Oh wait, and I see Ghost Tab was saying the same deal. The VF-19
from VF-19 Excalibur, yeah, and then the VF-21 was the other one from the thing. It was sort of the opposite of Real World.
Okay,
it's
cool.
It's funny that they're basing so many designs off of our fighters, though. It's funny because obviously Jetfire is obviously based off of F-14.
Right.
But it's super cool for it.
No, it's going to be sweet. Like I want, so I just got this Prime that I just put on the screen, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, truly, the first thing I thought when I saw that thing pop up is, I need that guitar for this Prime. And now, I'm going, I don't know, maybe keep them. Just they can share the guitar. And then I started thinking I needed basketball for this Prime. It went off the rails in my brain quick.
It can.
It was ugly. All right. They're called shameless plugs, Dave. No shame. Thank you, Sci-Fi. Oh man. Okay. We gotta move. Let's see. Would you want to be the guy that has to be sealed inside that armor? Of course, you couldn't collect the action figures anymore. Which one? Rom? I would not want to be sealed inside Rom. How about you, John?
No, definitely not. Rom or the Kamen Rider. I'm not sure which one he was talking about, but either one. Not not my preferred way of going.
No, you don't want to hang out in those suits and
No.
not be able to get your basketballs for your primes. Ghost Have, Kamen Rider Gav is the current show, and it's amazing. No pyrotechnics. What?
I think I've seen some clips from that one. Like, if I recall correctly, I saw a fight scene between one of the villains who looks has sort of like a gothic Lolita look, who is like headbutting a Kamen Rider, which is amazing. You're like, you just headbutting this guy in armor like it's nothing. That's very cool.
It works. I do want to check out. So I'm like you. I was a little old for Power Rangers, or just didn't, for whatever reason, it just didn't plug into my brain. But there is something a little different about Sentai, like that kind of thing. I wanna check more of that out. I just need to figure out. I need to prioritize, I guess.
And there's so many. It's not like, like here we've got Power Rangers, or had Power Rangers. Over there, there's a bunch, some connected, some not. There's a ton.
Right. Do they have?
Anton did confirm he was talking about Rom being sealed in the armor, which makes sense. I guess the Kamen Riders can change.
So they were do they have? Because I know I've talked about trying to figure out Star Trek. I've talked about trying to figure out Gundam. So is Sentai kind of the same? So it's got a main timeline, but with branches, or is it really just kind of all over the place?
So Sentai is more of like the name of the type of series. It's like us watching a sci-fi or a superhero show.
Got it.
They would have their Marvel, their DC type of things, and they'd have timelines and everything.
So it's like its own genre.
Yep, it is a genre, absolutely.
Okay. Now I'm starting to learn things. I hate when that happens. Shin Kamen Rider is pretty violent. Woo. I mean, I'm not against the violence.
No. I'm all for proper violence.
What is up, Tragic, man? Good to see you. Let's see, Kamen Rider Black Sun and Shin are on Amazon Prime, and they both, Reiteration and Violent. No one is a movie. Let's see. One is a movie and the other is a show. All right. I'll have to check things out. One day, I promise, guys. I will catch up. I will be a good nerd. Let's see. With love for characters such as Mr. Fantastic, Impossible Man, and Slapstick get the maximum treatment. I think we're going to have to, and John, tell me what you think about this. I think we're going to have to temper B tier and C tier and D tier expectations when it comes to the maximum line. If they want,
I can see Mr. Fantastic. Impossible Man, Slapstick a little less so. I know who Slapstick is, but good gosh, that's a deep pull.
I think Mr. Fantastic. I think honestly, the whole Fantastic Four could probably be in there, depending on how they decide to sell them, because they're all fairly popular characters. But we're talking probably Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, Wolverine, Deadpool. We're talking like the cream of the crop. Maybe Doctor Doom and Magneto and Thanos make it. But I think when we're getting too deep, I just think we want to temper expectations on that.
I mean, but I agree. I'd love to see a lot of those. I'd love to see every character get the maximum treatment, but that seems a little. I mean, that's ideal. That's when toy collecting comes mainstream and everyone's buying toys then. But I don't know if that would happen.
If that, you know what though, if that did happen, they could perhaps keep the cost low.
Yeah.
Oh look, Absolutely. We're popular again. Yep. We're not just for niches. Okay, let's see. I think that gold guy is not Mega Man. Is that Proto Man? It said Mega Man Metal Blade on the thing, Anton. Now, we'll check him out. It might be that if I do a little deeper dive in the reading, it might be that is actually Mega Man or Proto Man. Let's see. Opening older figures never works. I need that new plastic fix. Oh, Harry.
I know the feeling, Harry, but like my wallet, I jokingly sent a couple people a picture of my wallet with a knife, and I feel that way sometimes.
Yep. Mr. Stabby is not a happy guy. Anton, that outfit's really cool, and he got on television because of a booger joke. What? Man, I should have been better. Oh, Alf. Okay.
I think it was Alf. Let's see.
No, if that's how I got on. I didn't know that about Alf. Let's see. I got lucky and got that crazy figure, 112 scale, female body. I will paint the head for sure. It is on BBTS, but sold out at the moment. Also, La Muerta is back in stock and got a replacement one. Nice, Tragic.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice.
I know. Yeah, Tragic was talking about how much he dug her. Do you have her? So you have her, John?
No, I don't. I just she's on the list if things go my way.
Yep. The whole catch up and keep up list. That's what I've got going. I'm like, there's so much on the catch up. That's the problem. Keep up doesn't look that bad this year. So far, they haven't there's not tons of pre-orders that I need just yet. Let's see. I need that Elf for the accessories.
So many good accessories. Every Alf is rife with accessories. I mean, it's great.
Yeah. And I think that's something NECA does so well. Like, if you just got into you could collect NECA just for the accessories. Like, I know that's insane, but you could.
Like, if they made if they got some random license superhero wise, something with more normal people, you could do crazy things with what they make.
Oh yeah. They could start doing like what Action Force is doing with all kinds of different packs and everything. We could get phones throughout the ages.
Yeah.
Maybe not. That could be funny, but I don't know that that'd sell. Also bummed out. Feels like everyone is getting their Mezco Doc Knock, but me. First world problems. Yeah, that stinks tragic, but you do have it on order. It'll show up, sir. It'll be there.
Yep, just keep the faith. He looks super cool.
Yeah, I'm impressed. I really love that vehicle he's got too. Oh, there's Harry rubbing salt in the wound. Well played, Harry. All right, we'll get through a couple more of these guys, and then we'll jump back in and start talking about some figures. See, Harry, I bet I keep seeing posts on Facebook. All right. We'll hit you, Anton. We'll talk to Kairos, and then we'll head back. See what's going on. The cartoons were better than the comics, but the Headmasters one for the comics was better. I do not disagree. I was actually watching a thing the other day on the Japanese continuity versus the American continuity. And when all that stuff started going, I was like, okay, Headmasters in Japan was clearly better. But I remember very distinctly reading Marvel's Headmasters canon thing, go me, and thinking that's really cool. Yeah. Like, I think the Japanese, from a toon perspective, handled Headmasters much better than the American did, or the American cartoon did. But when it comes to comics, I don't think anybody beats that version of Headmasters.
No, the comic version was very cool. I didn't watch a lot of the cartoons at that point, but I thought the comics were still pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, Kairos, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Yeah, the accessories are sweet on that Alf. All right. Let's get out of here. And let's head back to something that I'm really curious what you guys all think about. Not Alf. I mean, we all know that Alf is terribly lovable. So there's no real reason to debate his awesomeness. He just is. We're going to go to Baki here. This would be your first 112 scale Storm Arena figure. So these are the ones that are what I wonder about when it comes to Jada. And here's why. Now, normally I would sit here and I would say, no, Jada's got this hands down. And my gut says Jada still has this hands down. One, they don't have this license that I know of. But two, I think that we're looking at a tied figure. We're looking at, it's just going to be whichever property you like more. Let me see if we can go to, have you seen this yet, John?
I did. I saw it on your newsletter and took a look at it.
Okay.
It's I think actually more so than which license you like. I think it's going to be which style you like, because the only complaint I ever hear about the Street Fighter figures is they don't like the style. It doesn't necessarily fit in with what else they're with other characters. You know, it looks a little out of place next to some G.I. Joes and all, which I understand. And I think this guy'd look a little closer. He's a little more realistic-y style.
I think one of the complaints that I've heard, at least on Anthony's Customs, he'll talk about how soft the sculpts are when it comes to Street Fighter and when it comes to Mafex. And I think that's why Jada's Street Fighter and Mafex line seems to go fairly well together. The soft sculpts kind of match each other. But to what you're saying here, I think you're right. Like, I think Baki here would work a lot better with figures like Classified, and with, like, there are deeper sculpts, sharper details in Marvel Legends than there are in Mafex as well.
Yeah, Legends is that weird spot where it fits pretty well with the Jada stuff, and then it can also fit okay with the Action Force G.I. Joe stuff, because I got Killmonger at the local game store or local toy store used, and like he fits in with the G.I. Joes and all very well.
Right. Yeah, and I think part of that, do you think, have to do with kind of the inkjet printing that's going on the faces, or do you think it's the overall sculpt as it is?
I think it's more of the colors they use. So, the Jada colors are very, very much video game colors. While there's a little more shading and stuff. Also, he's a weird one to test with because he's mostly flesh color. But the thing is, flesh has a lot of detail and shading to it, where the Jada ones are a little more one tone, so to speak.
Right. Yeah, and their shading is a lot. Yeah, you're right. Like, it's not like this looks pretty deep, what's going on here. And Jada, it does seem a lot more subtle.
Yeah, they almost, having Chun-Li here, they let more of, just do a little bit in the recesses and let the light do the rest, which is fine.
Right.
But it's hard to tell because of the light and everything. This isn't the best light for showing her off in. I don't know if you can get closer, but you can sort of see on her forearm there. It gets a little bit in there, but the light does most of the rest of bringing up the high points and letting the darkness be there. So they don't have a lot of, like, it's soft coloration detail on them, which makes them, look more cartoony, video gamey, if you will.
No, and that makes sense.
You can see next to Big Boa, even next to Big Boa here, he's got just a little bit more realistic-y colors on him, which makes a little bit of a difference. You can tell visually they're not in the same line easily.
Just with a little bit more, almost, when we talk realistic, we're talking a little more muted, right? Like
muted.
Like bright pink and okay.
Well, yeah. So and then Legend sort of has that middle ground because they're doing a good job of some of the quote unquote 4-color type costumes, but then also a little more detail on the flesh, I think.
Okay. No, that makes sense. But yeah, I was just curious. We're going to go to the chat here real quick. I want to find out what people are saying. I might end up skipping a few of these. There's been quite a bit. Let's see.
Yep. Good talk about Micro 7.
Yep. Yeah, there's what we've got there. I think that's the one I saw earlier.
Yep.
Let's see, my Voltron's chrome is fading away. But I still like the figure. Ooh, the Blitzway chrome's fading away? Oh, that stinks.
You can fix that. There are chrome paint pens that are chef's kiss and will work to fix that up.
Really?
Yep. We use them some in Miniature Hobby. There's brush on chrome paint, but the paint pen for what action figure use is going to be plenty good. Because you can touch up little bits because they'll start coming off. The chrome pens, just take a look at them.
Yeah, okay, there you go, Kyrus. Give that a shot, because that's pretty... I had no idea something like that existed.
Oh, yeah, testers have been doing paint pens for a long, long time, and they've been getting very good.
I knew that they had paint pens. I mean, I used to have to use paint pens when I was doing art school and all that stuff, but I had no idea they had a good-looking chrome pen. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, I saw it a couple years ago. My buddy used it for some of his miniatures.
Okay. Yep, Basara Prime. That's gonna be good.
ROM, yeah.
Let's see. Common Writer nowadays is less for kids and more for adults. People die left and right. It sounds like a lot of the stuff that we all grew up with is kind of going that way. And I don't know I mean, personally, I enjoy a lot of it more because of that, but I'm not sure that it's good for the longevity of the property.
I like in Japan having Kamen Rider for more adults and then having other Sentai series more for younger ages is fine. I think that's a great idea. You sort of graduate like you did comics. You start off with Archie comics if you're as old as I am, and then eventually you get into other comics that have more mature terms and more mature ideas in them. And that was sort of what I liked about it. They did it a little bit in cartoons for a bit. You'd start off with your, basic cartoons, and you get to let's keep US Gargoyles. Gargoyles is much more mature than a lot of the cartoons. A lot of those, they put some actual work into that deep storylines and everything. Exo Squad is a short run one that was very serious.
I don't think I saw Exo Squad. I used to watch Gargoyles fairly religiously, but I don't think I ever saw Exo Squad. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's back when you had people competing more for, because it was TV, you just put it out there, competing more. You had a little more variety in what you do. You'd have some more jokey, some more serious. Nowadays, you just have to find it. It's all out there. You have to find it.
Okay. I was curious. So this is for you. This is for the chat. Whoever wants to answer. I wonder about, because they'll say a lot of things today, and I don't remember it. Basically, I'm very cognizant about not wanting to be the person that sits there and says things like, "Well, in my day, we did this, and that was the right way to do it." So
back
I'm
in
just
my day,
right. Get off my lawn. But I just. So when I was younger, when we were all younger, I think for the most part, shows they didn't feel, I mean, yes, the plots weren't overly sophisticated and it wasn't like there was deep characterization, but they didn't feel like, if you go back and you watch Transformers season 1 or any of the G.I. Joe 5-part miniseries and stuff like that, it didn't feel like they were talking down to the kids necessarily. And today things feel a lot more kind of just cutesy. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And I wonder sometimes if you want to, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm genuinely curious because what was it? Skeleton Crew came out for Star Wars recently. I still got to finish that. Started it, thought it was good. No judgment or anything when it comes to that. But I love Star Wars when it didn't have any kids and when it wasn't trying to relate to me, that kind of thing. And so sometimes I wonder if storytelling has gotten to that point where no, take it back and get to the point where kids can just identify with these themes and use adults and don't talk down to them. I'm not sure. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, that's a super complicated one. I do agree. I feel like cartoons didn't aim for the lowest denominator. They expected you to rise to the level of their content. G.I. Joe, the early G.I. Joes were much more serious,
Right.
The cartoon, the I guess up to the end of the original, the Sunbow, G.I. Joe was a little sketchy, but the early one was a lot more serious, had some more serious stuff. They didn't kidify it, so to speak. It felt like maybe late 90s, it felt like they started kidifying things, maybe a little even more. Because earlier it was like you had a series for kids, a series for adults. Oh, you Transformers, they wouldn't make Transformers kidified. Some of the later series I see, and I haven't watched them, they have kid characters. And I'm like, well, I'm not necessarily opposed to that. I am like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because I'll compare, because I try to keep up with Transformers. I finally saw the first episode of Earthspark. Didn't hate it, but I wasn't sure about the end when it looked like Megatron was just a buddy with everybody. I got confused. But beyond that, like you think about Spike in Transformers, he's like a kid that would ask the actual questions. Whoa, how do you transform? What's the, And it almost feels like sometimes they make them so they're almost intentionally annoying, I guess. But I don't know. And I don't know how I would have thought about it as a kid also.
Yeah, it's tough. I never felt Spike was annoying. I haven't watched it recently. But, I thought Spike and Chip and the other human characters felt like good, just enough analogs for us to ask questions we would ask.
Right.
And put our point of view in there. You don't need to all go full Michael Bay. But, having some human characters in there is cool.
Right. Yeah, I've been thinking about that quite a bit. I don't know why. My brain goes in odd spaces. All right. Ghost Tab, isn't maximum line a double-edged sword? If this is the best Spider-Man, then why buy Spider-Man afterwards from Hasbro? You gotta wonder if their strategy is gonna be to start maybe making some of the main characters in Legends more accessible for kids. I don't know how they would do that at the $25 price point, though. So you're right. I mean, that makes sense. How do you really justify, if you're not going to try and target kids with these things with a whole lot of media, how do you justify a $25 Spider-Man and what we're assuming is going to be around a $45 or $50 Spider-Man? What do you think, John?
You go cheaper. So when the when the Snake Eyes movie came out, they did a bunch of figures. They did some that are basically might as well be classified figures. And they did some that are just don't buy them. They're not for us. They're for kids. It's okay.
Right.
Because I went to buy one. I actually saw one in the store. I was like, oh no, this is not for me. But that's how you do it. You make like the $15, $20 one that's got a couple accessories, big, not gonna choking hazard, that the kids can be like, oh, I saw Snake Eyes in a movie and thought it was great. And they'll play with that. And then we get the next level Snake Eyes one, that's sort of the middle collector range, where it's like, oh, cool, it's got the right head for the actor. It's got some good accessories. And then if you really want, you go and you buy Snake Eyes in Timber, or you buy the Mezco Snake Eyes or whatever. You even in the same company, they can have 3 different levels of that. If it's a popular enough character. It's like Spider-Man. Yeah, you could easily do it. You could do the Maximum Spider-Man. You could do the, hey, you don't want to pay $50? Cool. Here's a slightly different Spider-Man. And then you can do, here's the $15. It's Spider-Man. He's got no webs or anything because kids are going to lose that shit anyways. He's got no heads or hands, but he just looks cool. He's got the web slinger pose, and then it's good enough.
Okay. Yeah. Now, as collectors, no, I think you're right on with collectors too. I was going to say, as collectors, though, do you go, is there still a reason for the $25 Spider-Man when there's the 45 or 50? I think so. I think if nothing else, we'll get different accessories, and there are going to be people that are like, I don't want to pay $50 for a Spider-Man or whatever,
Well, because I always remember there's a couple different grades of collectors. There's the, for example, me with a lot of characters. Oh yeah, I need to get a Batman, just one. Right. Other people who are like, I need all the Spider-Man. How many Spider-Man do you make? I would like all the Spider-Man. And I understand it. Someone who's buying every single outfit that's coming out, I can totally understand that.
Fortunately, Outfit doesn't quite garner quite as many figures as Spider-Man does. That would suck.
No, they don't. It's not quite. He's not quite up to Spider-Man Pop. Give him time. He's on a comeback.
I was just going to say, give it a little bit. They'll probably reboot it for you. Let's see. Oh, yep. I think Hasbro wants some of that Mafex sauce with a Maximum line.
Oh, yeah.
I think so. And they're going to get it. They're going to get a lot of it with that Maximum line.
They are.
Like, I'm not, I try to make it very clear. I think my opinion when it comes to the ball peg waist is a minority opinion. I think most people don't care. And so once they see that they can get one that it's going to be comparable to Mafex, they're going to go for it. And if I'm very honest, a lot of times the head sculpts look as good or sometimes even better on a Legend than it does the Mafex figure, which kind of hurt me to say, but it's true.
Well, it's that slightly bigger scale. Something I've learned from painting miniatures, a slightly bigger scale gives you a little more leeway to make things look right. Because sometimes when something's a slightly smaller scale, if they make the head to get the right detail, it's a little big and it just throws your brain off. That uncanny valley thing. You're like, that's not right. It bothers me in some way.
Right. Nope, that makes total sense. I mean, it would be a lot easier to paint something that was much larger. Let's see.
Not always. That's another topic.
Maybe not much larger.
But at small scales, you can get away with a little bit of detail. I painted Black Widow for the Marvel superhero game, and rather than trying to paint the full Widow symbol on her belt buckle, I just put the little bit of the colors there in a vague shape, and your mind goes, "Yep, that's the Widow symbol. Good job, John." Even though when you look close, and I've got I wear a magnifier to paint because my eyes are terrible. I'm like, this is terrible, but then you put it on the table like, that looks great.
We got this.
I'll take it.
No. Yep, that's sweet. Let's see. Do you collect comics? Either one of you. I have not picked up a comic since I think the second or third issue after House of X Powers of 10 by Jonathan Hickman. So I would say no. How about you, John?
I could not tell you when the last comic book I picked up was, because every time I go and I get, if they get set in life and you go and you set up a subscription, you set up your box at the comic store, I get fired or something happens. So I'm not going to do that. I know they're unrelated, but I'm not chancing it. I do still pick up graphic novels. You can't see over here. I have a shelf of graphic novels. I will buy a lot of old stuff. Obviously, I bought The Last Ronin because it was Chef's Kiss.
Right.
I just got, and actually I'm going to show you this if you give me a second. I just got the G.I. Joe complete collection from their Kickstarter. So I'm going to show you one volume of it. I can't bring the whole box over.
Okay. Let's see. What do we have, Brandon? Let's see. The Maximum Spider-Man looks neat. I have the Mofex version, but I might pick this one up too. It looks good. I mean, they nailed that thing proportionally for sure.
This is volume 4.
Oh,
next to my head for scale. I mean, it's great. It's great quality, but oh my gosh, it is huge. So I buy a lot of collections and all.
Right.
You know, a lot of collected editions. I think it's a great way if you can't keep up to make sure you get that stuff. And they're so good about putting it out there.
Yeah, I do need to go back and do some of that, pick some of that stuff up. I need to get into, I know, like the old school in me is all about things like the Energon universe, and I haven't picked it up yet. I got to do that. Everybody says it's incredible.
Or if you just get a good tablet and get like an Amazon, whatever it's called, the
Comixology, or at least
the Comixology one. Like I had that for a little bit, and I read so much of like the More Than Meets the Eyes and Robots in Disguise, and even Lost Light. It was just enjoyable stuff, and you can get so much because you're just paying a simple fee, and you get as much as you can consume.
Yeah, I might, because I think I've got that on Amazon. I might need to go back and check it out a little bit. All right, what is up, John? Thank you for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. Kairos, when are those 5K toys? Let's see, Sharks figures coming out. What did I have there? Let's see, there must have been some Sharks on here. Let me check this out real quick.
I don't know, it's so hard to tell with 5K toys when their stuff's coming out. You see they're advertising it, and then there's not a ton of information on it, easily findable. No links. Come on, man. Put the links out there.
Help us
the links.
Help us help you.
Exactly.
Let's see.
I might not be the biggest fan of the movie Jerry Maguire, but you know, help me help you is a fucking great quote. That and show me the money, of course.
You are not wrong. Yeah. Show me the money pretty much wins that. Let me see here. 5K toys. When are those? I remember seeing them. It's been a while though. I'm clicked over onto 5K toys, guys. I'm going to see if I can find those Sharks. Chances are I won't. Here. Oh, I'm looking for. Let's see. I'm looking for. We're leaving it on Big Bad for a minute while I see if I can find these Sharks. And if I can't, then we're just gonna. I'll just jump back in. But yeah, I don't see. I know the ones you're talking about. I just don't see them.
Let's see if we got anything chat-wise, at least related to the last guy we looked at, Alf, or the kickboxer guy. Someone said it'd be cool. It's cool just to have a proper scaled kickboxer martial arts, which is absolutely true. All right, what do we got here?
Yeah, I don't see the Sharks. I don't remember.
John actually noted that as well. Yeah, he's like, I'm stoked. At the very least, you get an anime kickboxer. Yeah, I mean, that's what I like about all of these. It's why so mentioned the guy who's basically Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. Like, I have to get that.
These are necessary things. I totally get that.
And we all have those nostalgia buttons that got to be hit.
Right. Alf, he was a character that was just a puppet hitting a garbage bag underneath the pitch meeting, and he got to Brandon Tartikoff to laugh, so they gave him a show. Wow. Is that pretty much it?
Honestly, that came out so long ago. I've not researched the beginnings of Alf, but I remember watching the heck out of it.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Rumor is 4 maximums a year. That would be cool. That would be cool.
Seems about right. That wouldn't ruin things. Good pace.
No, and it wouldn't kill people's wallets either. Let's see. Toypixx, the Bandai Smoke Effects just charged. Oh, nice, Kyrus.
Cool.
Man, now I'm gonna have to go back there and check those out. Ooh, the smoke effects are in. John, do you ever pick up effects like that, or do you tend to make your own?
I would pick them up, but I haven't recently. I still catching up on stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. It would go well with Jada being a martial artist. Okay. I like it. Baki works because of his art style. I don't disagree. Let's see, X-Men 97 scale perfectly with Jada Street Fighter for the MVC display.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't. Do you have any X-Men 97 figures, John?
Just the Goblin Queen that I picked up for the baby for my nativity display.
Okay.
She's still pretty cool in general, but I mostly am like, oh, it's got a baby for the nativity display. Let's do that.
Mm-hmm. Because I found that they work, like I said earlier, the Mafex and Street Fighter figures work pretty well together scale-wise, too, with Mafex. Mm-hmm. But I just don't know. Man, I would love to see. I might have to. I don't know. We'll see. I'm constantly thinking, what kind of pictures could I get out of Legend? Because, again, the Legends face sculpts always look good. So I'm always just curious what I can do for some more photos. So maybe. We'll see. Let's see. Baki looks like he's shot full of articulation, but I have no connection with the character. I don't either, Harry, but there was one picture. Let me go back to Baki just real quick because I wanted to show they had this one shot and I'm going, holy crap. I mean, I'm going to give it to Storm already when it comes to the articulation. And it's based solely on, hang on, I'll get there. Yep, there it was. It's based basically on that picture. Look at how
Van Damme there.
That is ridiculous. And I mean, it's phenomenal.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the articulation. Let's see. What do we have? Look around Ken and Ryu's torso. Ken's muscle work has subtle paint, but Ryu relies entirely on lighting to give the shadows.
That might have changed with the repack, the redo of Ryu.
I had to get, what was it? I decided to get the redone Ryu because I didn't like he was too yellow and he's just a little less yellow. But I liked the paint on the original, on the first gi, a lot more than the second one. Like it had a more subtle look. So I had to actually swap out 2 Ryus to get the one I wanted.
That's what you do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I was kind of nervous the whole way. I was like, I don't want to break a Ryu. He's rad. Okay, let's see. Oh man, guys, I lost the chat. Oh, wait, here we go. Let's see. Baki is a manga style figure and Jada is more cartoon. That's true, yeah. All right, if you want to get, let's see, into Sentai, watch Go Kiger. It's a celebration series and it's really great as an entry point or something to watch after watching a few series. Have you seen that one, John?
No, I haven't actually gone to watching any Sentai series yet. I just watch clips as they come through Twitter. But so no, I've seen a bunch of clips from this one. It looks like it's a hoot because they look like space pirates. They had one also recently where a guy from that teamed up with the current team, and I'm gonna have to look at these because there's just some really amazing stuff. Like this, apparently he started off with the Sentai series. Now he's a big deal, but he came back anyways to do a collab with the new series, which, I talk about it even for Power Rangers. That continuity that some of those series have is great.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, that sounds cool. I do, man. One day.
Yeah.
Kamen Rider and Toku series in Japan was meant for older kids and had more serious tones. Even Super Sentai was for 9 to 13 versus Power Rangers being 6 to 10. Okay. There's the chrome on the sword. Had mine for 2 years, and there's zero fading on mine. Blitzwave made the greatest Voltron ever. It's one of the centerpieces of my collection. Oh, man.
Yeah, I wish I'd gotten that one.
See, Guyver is the most adult Toku series. The
Sure.
Guyver figure looks amazing, but I don't know much.
The Guyver, like, you might be able to find the old US, was it US renditions version of the Guyver. It was 3 tapes back in the day, just 3 episodes. US version was, or imported to the US was, it was eye-opening. It wasn't as violent as some things, but it was a good combination of violence with story and everything. Or you can always watch the US movie version with Mark Hamill in it as well. Or maybe not.
Oh, dear.
Maybe not.
I don't know. Something.
No disrespect to Mark Hamill. He did all he could with that role.
All right, John. Yep, stoked to the very least. You get an anime kickboxer.
Yep.
All right, that's the one you must have seen, John.
Yep.
Let's see. Exo Squad needs a revival. Hope fan makey fiction. Fan makey monkey? Okay. Fiction does it. That'd be cool. I think. I don't know anything about fan monkey fiction. Let's see.
Oh, isn't it Fat Monkey Fiction? Is that the one that's doing oh my gosh. What are they doing? What's it called? I don't remember. There's a company doing that stuff. My brain's not braining correctly. Fresh Monkey Fiction. Is that it?
Right. Fresh Monkey Fiction.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
I wonder if maybe that might be it. That might be it. Fresh Monkey Fiction. They're the ones doing Monster Force.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. They do good stuff. So
Okay. Sorry about that. The toy.
No.
Let's see. I'm eager to support this line. I'm hoping they go deep on all 4 of their lines. Oh, Storm could do some good stuff.
I need to pick up one of their figures. I don't have any of them yet.
No, I don't either, but I've heard great things about the bigger ones. And at $25, I don't see me not at least giving them a shot, just seeing.
Well, isn't that sort of the truth? You got to give every line a shot. You got to take a look to see how good they are, because you might be just utterly shocked.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, this is amazing. Just this one picture pretty much has me going, okay, I'm going to need to at least get something from this line.
Yeah.
Let's see. Vala loves the Exo Squad stuff. A while back, people thought he might take a run at it, but that's past, I think. I
think he's going to take inspiration from it. He keeps talking about making a mecha suit or whatever. He might just make a mecha suit in that sort of spirit.
Okay. That'd be sweet.
I watch his videos on Saturdays. It's good stuff. I like Bobby Vala a lot. He puts out good stuff. He does a lot for action figures. Just needs a little more social media help with. Occasionally, his responses come off a little harsh. I know how that can be.
His videos, he seems to be doing a really good job. The Valaverse videos.
Oh yeah, absolutely wonderful.
Like I'm pretty impressed with all that, and I totally agree with you when it comes to especially the figures and everything. Like he'll come out with those head packs and hand packs, and I'm just sitting there going, "Holy crap! This is how I would hope that I would run a line." Like the way that he's doing it just feels like the way that it should be done.
His love for figures comes through.
Okay, let's see. The Limits forces writers to be creative yet accessible since they wanted, to do deeper themes, but were restricted by network wanting animation to be less violent. Limits can be good and bad. In the history of Lego is a fascinating thing for that kind of deal. They were about to go under, and they decided we need to get our guys using far fewer pieces. So they were making less pieces on assembly lines, less types of pieces and all that. And then they became very picky about what they would license. And boom, they became what Lego is today. It's fascinating stuff. And they did it because of putting limits on what the designers could do. Which is it's fascinating to read about that kind of thing. Hey, Dave. Hey, chat. Did we talk about the Maximum Spidey yet? Ray, we have been talking about it, but we haven't shown anything with it. You know what, guys? I showed a lot of those pictures when it came to what I had put on the newsletter, but we really haven't shown much when it comes to the Marvel Legends figures. I think I'm going to end up having to skip quite a bit of this. Let me see. I'll go through and cherry pick some of these. My apologies. But I want to get this moving along a little bit, and then we're going to jump over to that Marvel stuff. You saw what was on the newsletter. So if there are any of those figures you want to talk about, make sure and put them in the chat, and we'll be sure to visit them before we're done. John, I didn't ask, how long do you have tonight?
As long as you need.
Okay, we'll see. We'll try to not stay up too late here. Kamen Rider still a kid show in Japan. Japanese people, let's see, I know say that. Nice. Let's see, it was a result of wanting to be, let's see, hold on, let me push the button here. It was a result of wanting to be, let's see, mature, I would assume, but tone it down. So they squared the line. Like, what's the most kid-appropriate way to depict the horrors of war? I've always appreciated the original Gundam movies. Well, always. I saw them a couple years ago, and I was like, wow, this is really crazy for kids.
War in the pocket. Holy crap.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
Yeah. Super Sentai marketed toward 3-year-olds despite the violence. Let's see. Rush. Sorry, arrived late, but just felt the need to respond to the comment on the video. No worries. We're good. Let's see. You got to check out Creature Commandos. It's great. Ooh. Let's see. I'm going to keep going. Oh, John, odd example, but started my kid off on Teletubbies first. Let's see. Teletubbies Series 1. Come on now. For Season 1, then tried later seasons. Maybe that worked. And this is when we were talking about what do we all think about the way that they do kid shows so much.
Kid shows, yeah.
Let's see. They explain everything. Loads of exposition. US version, I should elaborate. Okay, let's see here. Special about Kamen Rider, generally geared to aimed towards 7-year-olds and older. Ooh, I'll do that. Thank you, Harry. I appreciate it. Everybody, that like button, make it do the thing. Kamehameha. Sorry, it happens. Let's see, Teletubbies by 3rd season or so was completely lost its weirdness and felt like another kid show. Got it. Okay, let's see. I'm getting all this information. I wanted to go through fast, but now I'm going, holy crap, this is great info.
Yeah,
Japan
also on fire.
Yeah, have a definitive age rating or approval like the US, though. Hence why they can get away with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Nope, not yet. We're going to get to it here. Can't wait for the Street Fighter. Let's see. Oh, yeah, those are going to look great, LBZ. Yes. Those are, I gotta see them. I'm going to be curious as to how deep Storm goes. Missed opportunity that we haven't gotten X-Men Evolution figures. I would love a Wolverine in that orange and black. Let's see. Baki looks great. I got to admit, wish I kind of got it now, but not much of a high priority. He's still up for pre-order. You can get Baki. Let's see. The only articulation improvement I can see is better neck. They said that the thighs were fixed so that he can get, I think, for better crotches. Good Lord, guys. For better crouches. This is Pellegrino brain, apparently. Okay, we're going to keep going. Puts in the articulation. G.I. Joe's Classified have. And their X-Men Marvel figures, it would be very good. I would love them to put in the articulation that Classified has specifically. But, you know, that's just because I love me, the ball peg waist. Let's see. For the maximum line would be CT. Yep. Let's see. Shipping's going to be killer. Yeah. Oh, that's right. You're not in the States, are you, Mirage?
Yeah, shipping outside of the country is always.
Yep.
And it's just going to get worse.
I forgot all about that. Yep. I don't live in the U.S. Yep. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of flying through here.
Yeah, you guys were on fire there.
Yeah. I don't like missing comments, but I knew eventually it might happen. Let's see. I also recommend Jetman, by the way. It is my all-time favorite Super Sentai show.
Okay. I'm going to put that on the list.
Yep. Gokaiger are space pirates that collect Ranger Key that let them transform into older series. It's the 35th team, so they have 34 different shows before it. Wow.
Yeah, some of those clips are amazing, just what they're doing with them. You're like, that's how you properly do keep track of everything before you. You know, they're changing into the Mighty Morphin, the Turbo, all those Rangers you've seen before.
Okay.
It's great. Like, I need to see that series, I think. It just looks fun.
Gokaiger. All right. I'm in. I will find Gokaiger. Saturday morning D&D cartoon didn't dumb down to anything, particularly the episode where the kids decided to end Venger. Or Venger. Sorry.
Venger, yeah. Yeah, the 80s cartoons, like, they're very all over the place. Some of them are super dumbed down. Some of them you watch again now, you're like, this is okay.
Right. Like, I genuinely feel that way about Transformers Season 1. Season 2, it got a little goofy. And
they were overcorrecting for the movie because there was a lot of blowback from the Transformers the movie.
Well, there was, but Season 2 was before the movie.
So yeah. You're right.
Season 3, and Season 3 was still a lot more, I guess you would consider it adult than the movie, or not than the movie, but then Season 1 and Season 2. Let's see, just because it was Rodimus trying to learn to be a leader. How about you learn not to let Optimus die?
Look, I say this a million times, I have to. Optimus Prime wouldn't have pulled that trigger in a million years. That's why he's Optimus Prime. He's not going to shoot someone who's defenseless. He wouldn't have done it.
It's
Megatron always going to get the drop.
The last episode of Season 1, the Autobots just full out assaulted the Decepticons and shot them all into lava, including Prime.
That's true.
So I don't know. And when you look at that, when you start trying to use cartoon logic, you realize, we're just going around in circles here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. Giga Ranger is also great, and giving it a proper rewatch, and it holds up even if the protagonist can get a bit of getting used to because of childish behavior because he was raised in the jungle. Well, as long as they give him that backstory, it makes sense. I'm okay with it. Oh, that's right. Ramen doing their thing.
Yeah. I know they did Centurions. I saw they were doing Centurions, I think. I didn't see their Exo Squads. I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, I'll have to go back. I'm sure I've seen them. I know the Centurions that you're talking about. I'm sure I've seen the Exo Squad just because it was somebody, like, I didn't see the show, but I remember vaguely what they look like. So I've got to go back and check that stuff out a little bit. Let's see here. I do like that Vala's doing hand packs. I'll get some for my G.I. Joe and Marvel Legends customs. That's fair.
Just be careful. I don't think they fit inherently. You might have to do some work to make them fit. Oh, yeah.
I wonder, what do you think? Do you have to sand down the pegs a little bit, or is it going to be...
I would say if since their hands are better, I wouldn't sand them down. I would just drill out the wrists. You can get a pin vise drill. It's a simple thing. You can get them at tons of hobby shops. Drill them out a little bit because you'd rather have the hands useful for all of your figures and all of your Valaverse figures as well, if you have any, than having to make them there. It's easier to draw out the wrists instead.
That's perfect. I would not have thought that, John.
If anyone has any questions hit me up. I will happy to help.
Awesome. Much appreciated. You should see Space Runaway Ideon Tamino, Gundam creator, went full kill 'em all in that. I butchered half that sentence, but I could figure out what kill 'em all was. Let's see.
Yes.
Let's see. In War in the Pocket, Kyrus giving us our list of the Gundam stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Stardust Memory, Z Gundam, OMS Team, Char's Counterattack. I think I saw Char's Counterattack. Maybe. No, wait. Was Char was the main villain in the original Gundam movies, right? Or
Yes.
am I?
I think
Okay, yeah.
he's the main villain, yeah. And then I think he was villain in Zeta Gundam as well. I watched a little bit of Zeta Gundam.
Okay. Because I'm thinking back to those first movies, and I'm like, why don't I remember names? I remember how cool it was. Okay, Ghost Tab, Shin Kamen Rider, and Kamen Rider Black Sun are not for 7-year-olds unless ripping apart people's jaws for kids. I mean, I used to see that stuff when I was 4.
Look,
That's
I
not
saw
true.
I saw RoboCop in the theater. My mom took me to see RoboCop in the theater.
That's awesome.
If anything, it makes me realize violence is not cool. None of that looked like it felt good.
Or that's got to be one of those situations where you see RoboCop and you're like, I've been watching cartoons all this time. What?
Yeah,
I don't know. It was an eye opener, I'm sure.
My mom still hasn't seen the whole thing. She covers her eyes during parts of it.
Oh no.
Yep.
All right. Let's keep going. We're almost through this, guys. Season 4. Let's see. I hope you'll be back, John. Hopefully it was fun having you in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see. There you go.
So
that might do it.
Careful with the rotary tool because it moves at such speeds you could break the drill off in there. I generally suggest a pin vise because it's hand crunk, so you're not going to you get that resistance before it would break off, so you can know to stop.
Okay.
I've broken those off using I have a Dremel right here behind me. I could actually grab if I needed to, but just be careful with it.
No, that's fantastic tip. Oh, gotcha. Mirage is on it. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Okay, Gundam's creator, Yashikanji Domino, has the nickname Kill 'em All Tomino for his habit of killing more than half the cast. It's a good habit to have. I did not know that. Most Payday and Voltron were my faves. All right. There you go. Okay, now.
Caught up with all that.
Let's get here. We're going to go visit Preternia's Twitter page. I'm logging in now. Don't worry. If I do forget, John will be like, "Hey, Dave, you gotta get us over there. We gotta be sharing the screen here." Okay, I am logging in right now. Oops. It would be helpful if I typed in my actual password.
That generally is helpful.
It gets me in the right spot. It's very strange how that works.
Oh, so Mirage, I've seen some clips from that Red Ranger Isaki. It looks interesting, being an animated Power Ranger show. Heard some interesting things, so we'll have to see.
Preternia, here we go. Okay, now I'll come back. We're going to share the screen. We should stop this one first. We're going to get through this Marvel Legends chat in here. And then we'll be pretty good for calling it a night. So if you guys are thinking of anything else you want to check out, then feel free to let us know in the chat and we'll do it up. Oh, come on, Preternia. Hurry up and load. I shouldn't blame Preternia. This is all on Twitter at this point. I just logged in. Logged in, trying to be funky. Oh, look at that. Anybody get these? These are kind of cool. Like if I weren't such a snob, I would load up on the Batman, like the new Batman Adventures, the Batman the animated series figures that he's doing.
I thought of the Batman animated series ones because they're 6-inch scale.
Mm-hmm.
They might look okay next to Jada, but they're all a little different styles, so it'd be a little weird, but could be cool.
Right, and I've considered some of the Batmobile type stuff for my stuff, but people have said it's just a touch small for actually using Mafex figures. So I don't know.
That makes me sad inside.
It does.
Like
Okay.
all we want is just all our figures to be in the same scale so we can put them all together.
Right.
That's what we want.
But
That's all we want.
Sorry, specifically, I wasn't talking like the 89 Batman. I was talking the animated stuff. Like that one, the 6-inch scale stuff like that. Oh, here we go. There's Dan Yoon showing off that Spidey. Look at how much better they did the shoulders, how much better that V taper is as far as proportions are concerned. Like it
Yeah.
goes into his chest. Like this is, their sculptors were on point for this thing. That is just impressive.
10 extra hands.
Mm-hmm.
Hasbro, you spoil us for once.
They do. Well, I wouldn't say that until we know exactly how much it's going to be.
True. And I said this a lot during my 12 figures of Action Mass when I was doing my top 12. Mm-hmm. All of the Hasbro ones had multiple hands. I'm like, this is what we want.
Right.
You know, at this price point, give us just extra hands and all.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Extra hands, like for photography specifically, it doesn't get much better than, like, there's so much you can do with extra hands. Just expression, from an expression perspective. Now,
and
I know
if you want to sell
people,
more, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, John.
So if you want to sell more, make it so that the different versions of that same character have interchangeable hands. So now you have more options. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, you know, you bought Scarlet and other Scarlet. You can have one having the salute hand and one cannot. It's also a karate chop hand in case you need that.
Exactly. It's dual purpose.
Exactly.
No, and that's something I wish Hasbro, and I think the classified team does it pretty well. I wish that the Legends team would say, like, I constantly use the brown suit Wolverine as my example. When I picked up the Juggernaut Wave brown suit Wolverine and the first Marvel retro line brown suit Wolverine, when they were going more general Marvel instead of here's the Iron Man retro wave or the Spider-Man retro wave. So I got those two Wolverines, and they had different hands, they had different heads, and the browns and the yellows, or the browns and golds, or whatever color, tan, were different colors. I wish they would go in and say, okay, when we make a brown Wolverine, this is the color of the brown, this is the skin, this is the orange or tan or whatever. And that way you could start to actually build the figure as you go. I would be less I guess I would be more likely to pick up more Legends if they would do it that way. And maybe less jaded is what I was after, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I was going to say earlier, I know that a lot of people missed out on this Emperor, so I wanted to show off real quick. He is in stock on Amazon for $44.99. At least he was as of, let's see, January 17th. Okay, head over to Amazon. Hopefully that happens still.
Oh. Yeah, there's some good picks.
Yep. Yeah, shooting the Galaxy, he knows how to shoot this stuff. Let's see, I want to go, let's see more. That when I saw that, and I was going, okay, well played, sir.
That's like, this one was a sold me. Like, when I saw the first picture, I'm like, oh, who made that Spider-Man? And I'm like, Marvel Legends, what the heck?
Yep. Yeah, that picture, just that
Bizarro
photo.
world.
But then you see all this, and holy crap. Like, this is amazing. Like, and again, pun not intended that time. I need to, maybe I should just say the pun is intended every time I accidentally do it. But
no one will ever know.
Exactly. You guys will never have any idea. But this is truly incredible. Like, this is the fact that they're coming with all this stuff, all these multiple heads. Like, this would be, for me, even, I wouldn't say a Mafex killer, but with a ball peg waist, I would 1000% buy this. To stand it up next to the Mafex figure I have and see how they compared. But this whole thing, this whole package is incredible. Yeah. I gotta give it to them. Let's see.
A couple of third-party accessories. I have some guy made like wire webbing things I bought for a couple buddies. Because for one of my buddies, I got him a Scarlet Spider, a cloth hoodie, and then that stand and the webbing thing as like a package for his birthday, and like those things make a heck of a difference as well.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Okay, we've got the Banshee that Dwight swore this would be his last figure, I believe, is what he had said way back when. But this looks good. It's a repaint, I'm sure, of the blue and gold one that came out, but it's still very impressive. Like I say, man, I really love the head sculpts they put on. Now, this would be birthing hips Miles, from what
I
I
was trying not to
understand.
think of that, but I was looking at that picture. I'm like, can I see them from here?
We're gonna maybe the one.
Those poses look great.
Yeah, the poses are awesome. But one thing, oh there
yeah.
we go.
Yep. A little too much. Those. And funny, he doesn't have toe articulation like Maxim Spidey does.
No, they keep that for the Maximum line, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh no, we're not doing that here. I mean, looks good, but yeah, now I can't unsee the birthing hips.
Yeah, it looks good, but not great. Like that'd be a discount.
Mm-hmm. The worst part is I was about to say that's what Shooting the Galaxy knows how to do, is he knows when he sees something just a little off, he does tend to hide it a bit with his photos. But then you turn this and I'm like, oh no.
Sometimes they say you gotta have a straight on photo. You can't hide that shit then.
Right. Oh, that one hurt. That one hurt a little bit. I do think this Iron Man looks good, the Ultimates one. But it's I like going through the Legend stuff because I can see that they're working to get them better. Yeah. Like it's not that they're resting on their laurels. And for a couple years there, it looked like they were kind of resting on their laurels. But here it just looks like no, we're stepping it up. And I'm stoked to see it.
While we're looking at this, I do see a chat here we're going to grab while it's on our mind. Ghost have asked thoughts on the mini comic accessories, because all those little mini comics, if you look at the packaging, that's kind of cool. Like for the same price added in, like if it's a Marvel Legends plus a mini comic that's no more expensive, then cool. I wouldn't necessarily want to pay for it. There's not a lot of use in that, unless you want your Stan Lee figure holding comics, which is, if you got a Stan Lee figure, maybe that's worth it.
I mean, I was thinking dios would be fun. You could have like a comic shop dio. Maybe put those in the back there, just make up some price tags, put them against the wall behind the register.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That would be, I think they're just more dio accessories. They're kind of like everything that comes with all the NECA figures, Yeah. So I kind of like that, but it would be nice if there were different accessories as well.
Well, like I said, with Adam Warlock here, since we're looking at him, he's got the staff, he's got the gauntlet, he's got an extra set of hands, and that. Cool. That's fine.
Yeah, this looks good. And look at this too. It looks like he's got more of those superhero style proportions. Yeah. Shoulders look like they're up a little bit, and even if they're not up as high as they should be, the cape does a lot to hide it.
They kept him bulkier enough so that you don't see the super birthing hips like you do on Miles. That's what it is. Miles they made him so slim, but they didn't make the legs slim enough. You can almost see it on Dak in here too. The belt hides it a little bit, but not enough. Now that I'm looking for it. Yeah, and we don't like to say we're looking for such things. It would be nice if they just had the legs a little closer together somehow. Like you're right, it just is too far apart. Yeah. But I understand if you need it for the articulation. Like the kickboxer guy had that too a little bit, but we forgive because of the amazing articulation. Right.
Yeah, and now that you bring that up, his might have been even more egregious than
I think about the same, but I think the belt hides it a lot. It does a lot to hide how wider the legs are than the waist area.
Yeah, and the one thing about belts on the Legends is it does a lot to hide. Like my big problem with the waist cuts is the fact that it creates the flat spots. But the belts on these things generally do a good job towards hiding those flat spots too.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, I should have clicked the one more shot here. Oh yeah. Yeah, Dagon looks good. They all like I said, man, I think they're trying to step it up, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of it.
No, absolutely. Like I said, as long as they're giving you all the accessories and then adding in the comic on top of it, that's great. I'm all for a little extra accessory.
Right. That is quality. I don't
Yeah,
know though. That's a little cocky. He should maybe come with a Wolverine comic, and Dakin could come with a Rom comic.
Decken wouldn't read a Brom comic. It's too old. He's a youngin.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe they got to find a way though. There's your cross sell. The Rom comic comes with Adam Warlock, and then like all that stuff. You just jump all over the place like that.
You know what? It occurs to me looking at this wave. This wave doesn't have a Build-A-Figure. That whole wave's not a Build-A-Figure.
Oh, I didn't even think of that, but you're right. Okay, hold on.
I'm not a fan of Build-A-Figures. It bothers me a little bit because it's okay. Like if it's like here's the Guardians of the Galaxy wave with Build-A-Figure Groot. Okay, cool. You're going to buy the Guardians of the Galaxy. But if you need to get Zabu, you need to buy Kazar and a million people who aren't related to Kazar. You're like, I don't want these people. I want the Zabu.
Nope, you're 1,000% right. I've always thought Build-A-Figures was kind of. I mean, I think everybody would agree it's kind of a cheap marketing tactic if they're not doing it the way you just described.
Yep, and it also feels like you're getting all this extra. Like now they're giving accessories. Like, cool, I understand taking out the Build-A-Figure, but you feel like you're getting all this extra stuff. Like I bought. Someone came with Mr. Hyde's freaking torso, which is almost the size of the figure I got, and I'm like, this is all this wasted plastic that can be accessories for the figure I actually bought, not part of a guy that I'm not sure I ever cared about.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's when exactly what you said about Guardians of the Galaxy, you'd be less inclined to think that way. Like, okay, this is a small, let's say, I don't know, a nebula or a rocket. There's the obvious one. Rocket comes with like this enormous torso or huge trunk of Groot. Okay, that's okay.
But yeah, I think it was actually Sharon Carter, or not Sharon Carter. Yeah, Sharon Carter came with it.
Okay,
Mr. Hyde stuff. The I guess movie version, TV show version, Falcon Winter Soldier.
Okay. Here's more of
Someone mentioned it looks like straight out of like a McFarlane or Mark Bagley Spider-Man drawing. Like, absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, I mean the proportions. I can't get over the proportions. I know that seems like a totally insane thing, but like look at this picture here. Look at it. I mean the one with Peter Parker, it's harder to see, but if you look at him in his box here, that is just crazy how they did that. Like you look at this and you kind of get what the complaints are about when the torso is a little more straight up and down, the shoulders are a little lower. Like Marvel Legends for a long time have looked, I think, what I would almost consider frumpy. And this looks like a superhero. Like this is incredible what they've done.
Yeah, it's just we're all waiting on the price now.
Yep. And that's going to be a big, obviously a huge factor. I do want to see, like, if I'm good with my Mafex Spidey, but I do want to see if the Hulk's the next rumored one. I definitely want to see what happens with the Hulk.
I'll be honest, even with the size difference, I think Mafex Spidey is probably perfect because it's okay if Spidey's a little smaller.
Yeah, and they keep saying there's going to be a Mafex Spidey 2.0, and I keep waiting for that announcement. So we'll see what happens with that. That would have me stoked. Now,
best to wait right until they put the price out for Marvel's version. Then they go like, well, here's our version. That's better and has this price. That's
you know what? That's probably it exactly.
That's what I would do. I mean,
they're probably sitting back actually right now saying, well, in another day or two, we're going to drop this one because we've now seen what they're going to show. Their hand has been played. This Electro looks good. I'm not one to get movie figures, but this looks very cool. I love those bolt effects.
Yeah, they're great.
Like I could see actually getting this guy just for the lightning bolt effects, but he'd have to be on clearance.
I love that the lightning effect on that you put on his head looks like Electro's mask from the main universe. And I haven't watched. I've seen No Way Home, obviously. I don't remember that showing up on him, but I don't know if that showed up on him in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I have not seen. I own it, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm a bad person sometimes. Don't judge me.
A fellow bad nerd.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's like that, but I love that style because it looks a lot like Electro's mask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he looks very cool.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to jump down. We're going to try and get through. Let's see. I think Gene is the last one. I love what they did here. Like they're firing on so many cylinders right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's almost driving me nuts. I'm starting to take it personally that they're nailing everything, but just not giving him the ball takeaways. So
Yeah.
like, they've been watching me and they're saying, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do everything awesome except that part, just to spite Toypixx.
I wonder if a lot like some of the GI Joe ones, where it's like they had ball pegs and they don't have ball pegs. I wonder if these were in works before they went. We really want to change to this.
Mm-hmm. And there's a real possibility of that. I just, like she looks great too. Like I can't throw down. This is the newer female mold, right?
I don't know. I'd have to compare it to the only newer female I have is Black Widow.
Yep, same here.
Great.
Yeah, I need to just pick her up and be like, okay, what do we got here? Let's go back to a picture of Spidey. In fact, let's go back to that picture we both enjoy so much.
You know, with her looking like that, and then Cyclops in the X Factor uniform, I had to pick both those up and then hope to give me a beast, a proper beast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, now when you say a proper beast, are you saying the red and blue?
Oh, no, Blueford Beast is proper. Like, all due respect to his original view, Blueford Beast is proper.
No. I mean, blue fur is what I'm all for, which sounds very strange. But yes, blue fur is the beast that I prefer as well. I just wanted to double check, make sure. Here we go. We're just gonna we're gonna sit on this. We'll go back to the chat, guys. We'll see how quickly we can get through this, and we're gonna call it a night. Let me see. Holy geez. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm digging through right now. All right, that recent Red Ranger Isekai is a great show, and as someone who read the manga long before, it is a great adaptation with actual good improvements from the manga. I need to know things. Let's see. Isekai, parody of tokusatsu. The more you know, the funnier it gets. Oh, dear. I'm clearly not ready for a parody, but that sounds fun.
It sounds like it's like a thing he's in the other world, and like people are like reacting more to him, like they all do their thing and they pose, and they're like, why are we posing now? Because every time they change in environment or any of those, they pose, and it's great. I love it. It's cheesy, but it's the right level of cheesy.
Yep. It's like whenever you get the Jim Lee shot of all the X-Men, they just burst through a wall and they're all standing ready to throw down. Let's see. Mondo alert, Clayface tomorrow exclusive. It's a must-have. That's right. I don't generally talk about 1/6 scale, but that thing looks awesome.
Yeah, just so big. So big. 1/6 scale is crazy huge.
Yeah. But Mondo, man, they knock them out.
The truth.
Let's see. I have Ray. We were looking at that. What was it? I think it was a week or two ago. We were checking out the Cursed Dead Kickstarter.
Oh, yeah. I remember now. I remember these.
Yeah, they were very rad. And I think I like the original, like the first one, the most, actually, of all of them.
12 days to go, in case anyone's interested.
Oh. All right, Anton, Batman was the series that didn't pull any punches either, and the new series to keep the Cape Crusader kills characters like there's no tomorrow, and it's not for kids. I don't know. I mean, depends on the kid.
Yeah.
Any kid, what was it Mitch Hedberg said? Something like, any kid is a children's book if the kid can read. Or any book is a children's book if the kid can read, I think it was.
Yeah. More important just to make sure you have someone to discuss what happened in there,
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Gosh, Maximum Spider-Man looks good, but the price is the major deciding factor here, because if it is 45 plus, then I can just get an import instead because it will be more expensive here. Mirage, that is 1,000% true in your case.
Yeah.
And that's something where we talk about that from time to time. A Mafex here is obviously pricey because of how much whoever had to bring them over to ship. But I think in Japan, they're around 50 or 60 bucks right now. So, like, I kind of would look at that too. I mean, if they're 50 or $60 here and this ends up being 45, this would probably be considered the better deal, to be honest. Let's see. I actually think that non-glove web shooters are somewhat unnecessary, but options are options. And I do agree. I mean, most things tend to be unnecessary, but for photography, I'll take it all.
As one transfer reviewer says, and options are good.
Oh, what was it? MGO, right?
MGO, yeah. I love his stuff. Like, if I can't transform a transformer, he's got a video. Let me find it.
Let's see. In regards to what I'd love to see get the maximum treatment, I know the reality. Just don't spoil my fantasy.
Yeah, it's all right. Type by George. It's all good.
No, your fantasy must die. Let's see. If it goes by usual deluxe prices, though, then it wouldn't be much of a killer. That's true, Mirage. Hopefully they do something so you can pick up some of this stuff. Let's see. Legacy Deadpool is a perfect example. Just those extra hands make them a better purchase than the new one, but with some good gold or with some gold paint, you can make them compatible with Deadpool and Wolverine suit.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't think of that either. This is me, what brain? All right. Have a good night, Anton.
Bye, Anton.
Let's see. Oh, at least people are happy to get a somewhat McFarlane Spider-Man, though. That's fair. And he looks great. Yeah, you're not wrong, Ray. Shooting the Galaxy does incredible work. That Miles also looks good, but the hip gap is horrid. Yeah. And tonight's the first time I'd heard anything about it. Now none of us can unsee it.
I can't unsee it.
Chase you guys over Yojo and Gain show. A big compliment. Let's see.
Thanks,
chose this. Oh, sweet. I appreciate it, John. I'll have to check that. Let's see. Thoughts on the mini comic accessories? Yep, we talked about that. I think that must be what you saw there, John. Let's see. Seriously, don't know what the Marvel Legends team was thinking with that goo.
The gap,
You're talking the Spidey stuff?
No, the gap for Miles.
Oh, the gap. Okay.
Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, that's rough. Oh, poor Miles.
It is just shy of egregious.
Mm-hmm. That Spider-Man looks and poses like McFarlane with a Mark Bagley-ish Peter head. That's true. Peter Parker head.
And those are my Spider-Man. I mean, even though I was reading before that, the McFarlane and Mark Bagley those were my Spider-Man.
It totally changed. It's like I'll talk about, and others have talked about, like, I think it was Spaded One actually was talking about his first Mofex figure. It's kind of like that. You see the McFarlane and Bagley drawing, and you're just like, well, that's it. Everything else is secondary. Very strange. We so desperately needed a new Miles. Yep. Let's see, comic accessory, nice homage to the Marvel Universe toy line. I did not know that.
I didn't think of that, but that's a good point. It's a good point.
Miles' head looks like he has seen some messed up stuff on his day. I didn't notice that either. All I was looking at was the hip gap.
I couldn't look away from the hips.
Show the stop motion segment in the live stream where they show all of the characters. You'll see exactly what I mean about Miles. I don't wanna.
Yeah.
That's bad juju. The Legends guys are let's see. Legends guys are such, let's see, that it kind of makes them heel. Oh, faces that it kind of makes them heels. But they're doing good work the past year or so. That's faces and heels. That's wrestling talk, I believe.
Indeed.
All right. I don't know why. It seems the Venn diagram lands on collectors and wrestling fans, and somehow I missed it. All right. Marvel Legends is the Pokemon. Let's see. In action figure lines, minimal but noticeable progression of a long time. It's like suddenly they're just firing on all cylinders, except for the ball peg waist, but that's just me.
It's like someone threatened to take their lunch money.
And maybe that was it. Maybe Marvel said, okay, look, your license is coming up. You better step it up.
Impress us or we're giving it to someone else.
Right. I'm just waiting for them to do Marvel Rivals figures, but I also have doubts because I don't have complete faith if they can replicate the faces well. I
More
don't know. I
importantly,
mean, go
I
ahead.
think with them, they might be the faces, but I think more importantly, Marvel could get more Disney. The mouse could get more money by letting someone else do just that line of figures.
Oh, just give somebody else that
Hey,
explicit
you can do
license.
these figures, but you can do them in, and they would do a different scale, of course, because they hate us. But I understand. You know, you want them to be, but they could do them in a different scale. Like maybe that's what happens. Someone gets that line, and then Hasbro keeps the more regular Marvel line. I could see that happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we'd see. Like, it would be cool to check out. I would say I wouldn't worry about the faces, honestly, if that was the concern. But there are other concerns to worry about too.
Yeah.
Only because I think Legends does a good job with faces. I gotta give that to them, and they've been doing a good job with faces for the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Barbie bootlegs are a good way to get Dio accessories.
Truth. And Etsy. Go to Etsy. Oh my gosh.
I know of Etsy, but I didn't know Barbie bootlegs.
Oh
I
yeah,
had no
there's a
idea
bunch
about
of that stuff. Like I'm looking for a Hawaiian shirt for Thane because I have another brand and that's Hawaiian shirts, and I'm looking at Barbie stuff for that.
That would be, I mean, that would be cool. I think that I want to, now that I'm hearing this, I'm going to have to go see what's going on with all that. I know I've seen the mini brand stuff in Target, and I'm always curious, but they're $8 a pop. Like, I can see picking up 3 or 4 of them and going, okay, I spent $32 and here's one mini brand that works, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not so into that. But if the Barbie thing is the way to go, I will definitely check out the bootlegs. Maybe Wolverine can drive around in a pink Corvette. That would be funny visually. Just because of
Cyclops' car, right?
Right. I think the Jada Fei Long has the most range because of the soft diaper.
Yeah. He had good
That
range of
would
movement too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. That's what I hate about an upcoming McFarlane Batman the Animated Series wave. You have to buy every figure to build Bruce Wayne, which is weird since I think Bane is in the wave. Oh, that's true. And you would think people would want to buy Bane or build Bane more than Bruce Wayne too.
Bane would get people to buy the wave more than Bruce Wayne, I think. But I think if you're looking at making a Build-A-Figure, but you don't want to screw your fans, I think doing it that way is probably better because Bruce Wayne's the one you could live without, I think.
Right. And that's true. So you got to look at it. You look at it from the business perspective, which is make Bane the Build-A-Figure, but you look at it from the fan perspective if you're looking at them and really trying to do right by them, and you're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's can you take the backlash for making Bane the Build-A-Figure wave? You know?
Right. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. A little bit of PR doesn't go a long way when it's bad. Let's see. Look at the comic Riri Williams from the Ursa Major Wave, or the Shriek from the Armadillo Wave. They come with huge Build-A-Figure pieces and a fair amount of accessories. Oh.
That's good to see. I didn't see those. I can only judge by the one, but that's good.
I had Riri for a bit. I thought she was a pretty cool figure. I don't remember necessarily what she came with, though. Let's see. Bandai is also doing 6.3 Super Sentai figures that are quite posable. They are for kids, so the aesthetic isn't as impressive as Lightning Collection, but still impressive nonetheless.
And Bandai is generally good quality. You're not always going to get the best, but they're not going to give you crap.
Right. Yeah, I want to check that out. Let's see. I see McFarlane Spider-Man. Maybe the next Spider-Man could be based on Ramita or Ditko.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I would think they're going to have to make several of them before they go back to Spider-Man again, I think. But it would be cool. It would be cool to check it out.
They could do a different line if they're doing different artist versions. Once they've got the maximum figure, if they can do a little tweaks to make it work in something else, I could see that happening.
I think it's the Bagley Spidey. Bagley?
Could be.
What do you think? Okay, John, is it Bagley or Bagley?
I always called Mark Bagley, but I don't know that I'm correct.
Okay.
I've been reading him for a minute. He was the artist on New Warriors when it came out way back in the day.
Okay. I was trying, I don't know why. Like, my name is as simple as it gets. Like, my first, last name, super easy. So I don't know why, but for some reason it drives me crazy when I get somebody's name wrong. And so I'm sitting there going, you're saying Bagley, I'm saying Bagley. I'm like, I don't know which one it is.
Yeah, it's different things. I mean, as someone who talks to people on the phone a lot every day, I will double check pronunciation of a name with the person just because I don't want to say it wrong.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I knew somebody that used to work with us. His name was Sagar, and he had just started. And way back when, people were coming into my office and they kept saying, hey, have you met Sagar yet? Have you met Sagar yet? Have you met this? So finally, like the way I introduced him, I just got up, I walked to his office, I said, hey, tell me how to say your first name. And he tells me, and I'm like, guys, why is this so hard? It rhymes with lager. You can do it. But it's just one of those things that for whatever reason, it drove me crazy that people didn't know how to pronounce his name. I'm a weirdo. All right, let's see. The lightning mask is from the final battle in No Way Home. Okay.
I need to rewatch that. I haven't seen I've seen bits from No Way Home, but I've only seen it the once because my buddy Dave, who I do Thursday night movies with, has zero cares about Spider-Man, so he doesn't wish to watch that. He's very weird. He cares about a very narrow range of stuff.
What kind of narrow range are we looking at?
Well, it's like he likes superheroes, doesn't care about Spider-Man. It's like, so like Captain America's coming out in the theater. He's like, you're on your own for Captain America. I'm like, okay, cool. But Thunderbolts comes out. We're seeing Thunderbolts in the theater, right? I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. That's kind of like I'm not sure about the A tier guys, but the B tier guys are awesome.
It's just weird what he'll care about. Like, he has not seen anything Star Wars since Episode 3.
Oh, wow.
But we're going to watch Skeleton Crew, and he's excited because Goonies in space sounds like his jam. It was just going to be our jam. But it's like he doesn't want to see Rogue One. I'm like, we can watch Rogue One. He's like, eh. I'm like, okay, cool. Whatever you want to see, dude.
Oh, that sucks. I thought Rogue One was good.
It is. It's great. But, you know, he just, if you don't care, you don't care.
Yep.
We just put it out there. What do you want to watch? And he's like, this or this. I'm like, cool, let's watch
that. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Electric Halo. Yep. Okay. More explaining what's going on with Electro, because clearly I
completely forgot. I didn't notice it at all. But I mean, there was so much going on in that ending. It was like, whew.
Let's see, Toypixx, can you do a short live video to see how fast the Mondo Clayface sells out? Kyrus, good luck, man. I don't know. It sounds like those things sell out pretty quick. It sounds like you want to be on top of your game for Mondo and Mezco. And as long as you nail those two, you're there. It's two things, you're okay. But sometimes that doesn't even work out. So good luck. Report back to us next time on Thursday's live stream. Let me know if you got it. I had the opportunity to get a Mafex Spider-Man when I was in Japan back in late November, but thought to myself that I can get it at home. I mean, I love my Mafex Spider-Man. It's the comic version, the 185. And it's the one that actually went up today for my prompt pick. So, yeah, I think it's a great Spider-Man. But I'm not going to lie, the proportions on this one make him look a lot more superheroic. The Spider-Man Mafex makes is kind of like teen Peter Parker.
Yeah, I noted that because I have one Mafex. I have Boba Fett because he was on discount and I think I give it a shot. And well, I have more than one, but that's the main one. And I have a Hasbro Boba Fett, and the Mafex one is a little skinnier. Looks great. Okay. I mean, absolutely looks great. But you're like, oh, I can see this guy's a little bulkier. This guy's a little skinnier. And I wonder if it's just that's just the base they're using for him.
It could be. I mean, they're doing that with, I think they basically use that base for all their Spider-Man figures. And he was obviously much older when he wore the symbiote suit. So who knows? I mean, that's why I keep hearing about the 2.0, and I'm like, okay, come on, let's get to that 2.0. I'm just curious, but yeah. I think you're right. If there's one in the works, I think it's about to be announced probably within the next month or two. But we'll see. I don't know. Let's see. Going to be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is that? Oh man, Kyrus, I need to look that up because I said let us know how it goes on Thursday, but maybe it's not up yet. I'm not sure. let's see, Larson was before Bagley. Oh, that's right. I forgot
Yeah.
Eric Larson drew him. CT Toys is the
Toys.
closest we get to Mofex at all least.
Truth. But that stuff looks pretty good, and the price point's pretty good. I dare say you need to pick one up at some point, but I'm a little hesitant.
It's as silly as this is. I've loved Mofex for so long that I'm kind of on that. It feels almost like, and I'm not the guy that tends to be the brand loyalist, but I do have this feeling of me going, oh man, it's kind of a betrayal if I pick up a CT Toys, But I can understand. I can understand other people picking up a CT Toys, and maybe that's their gateway into Mofex with figures that CT Toys will never make.
Yeah, I just feel like to really get a feel for figure, you got to have one in your hands. You can look at a million pictures, but until you have it in your hands, like I picked up the Cyber Frog, made one of the characters from their comics, the Heather Swain, in multiple versions. I kept seeing them, like, I'll pick one up. Super posable. They said super ultra posable.
Right.
Nah, it's okay. It's not terrible. It's
So
not great for the price it
might be
paid, but
stuff.
you're like, Or, I just got the Rocketeer here from Executive Toys, I think it is. He's fine. Posability is great. Like couple little disappointments. It's comic accurate, so you got the weird jetpack rather than the one we're used to from the movie.
Right.
You see, it's this, which is it's cool, but you've got to get one before you know.
Right.
I didn't know what he's going to look like until I got him, so now I know. I can figure out if I want to pick up another figure from them. And then in case anyone's looking at him, Butch is amazing, but not posable at all. He's just a statue. But still, he's a little bulldog. And it's
and the Rocketeer, I don't have that nostalgia for the Rocketeer so much. I remember seeing it, but it just didn't embed itself in my brain. But seeing the figure looked incredible when I saw it when it was announced.
Yeah, it's very good. I compared it to the Diamond Collectibles one I have. Both have their good points, and you have to judge. Something we often don't do as collectors is we don't necessarily judge a figure for what it's intending to be. This is intended to be comic accurate, so I have to look at it from that lens to properly criticize it. So I don't know about a criticism based on that. The biggest thing is the head and the neck are slightly different shades of flesh, and you're like, it's a little annoying. You don't really notice too much, but it's a little annoying. But you can put his helmet on most of the time anyways. He doesn't look like the actor from the movie, who I don't remember the name of, Billy Campbell, something like that.
Okay, but that's fine because the comic. At least if I decided to go pick up the Rocketeer, most of my stuff's comic anyway.
Yeah.
So you're like, this is perfect.
And he's 6-inch scale rather than 7-inch like the other one. And even if Butch the Bulldog isn't posable, he's still going to look great standing next to figures.
He's going to be hanging out with Timber and Junkyard.
Absolutely. And Timber, another Timber. I have like 4 Timbers now or something stupid.
Timbers, that's awesome though. Wolfpack shot.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
Because I've got Super 7s. I've got 2 different Hasbro, and I got this one. Pets. Look, you know how to sell people pets. People buy figures of pets.
They're great. I mean, and Hasbro's knocking them out of the park. So I'm kind of going, okay, just keep making animals, guys. You just need an animal line. Make us dinosaurs. If Jurassic Park will let you.
Where's our Pet Avengers?
Yes. Okay, supposedly each Mofex body is sculpted. I heard that somewhere. I will say that they I don't know much as far as like the files that they use to create all those figures, but I do see a lot of the same bones on the Spideys that I have. Like I have the black costume and I have the regular red and blue, and they feel really similar in a lot of ways. It's likely that there's just tweaks on the file. Like there's a Master Spider-Man file, and then there's little tweaks to adjust them to whatever the character is.
Or it's the same person sculpting it, and they have proclivities. There's a sculptor for miniatures that did stuff for a company called Reaper, and I could walk in and go, that's a Sandra Garrity figure. and I'd look at it like, yep, that's a Sandra Grady figure. My ex-wife and I would go through it, and she'd like, I want that one and that one. I'm like, those are the Sandra Grady figures. Of course you want those. They have a style, you can tell, and that's cool. It's just, I think that's probably it. Either, like you said, either using the same file and they're tweaking it a little bit for the figures, or the same sculptor and they're doing very similar things.
Right. No, but that would be sweet. I need to look at more. I don't get into, like, you guys have heard me talk a little bit about not getting so much into the tabletop scene, but I've always thought the miniatures looked cool. So I wonder, just get some gray miniatures and line the wall with them,
Look, everyone's intimidated by painting them until you start doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have the bonus of having done this for 35 years, so, have some experience. I'm still not good compared to a lot of those people out there, but they look okay, Look from a figure, like, it's cool. But, it's fun.
Sure
Just be careful. It's a dangerous hobby. You think action figures are expensive? Some of these games can get, like Warhammer 40K, which you talk about occasionally. I'll take action figures. My pocketbook will like me better.
Yeah, I'll have to temper my spending here. I'm sitting here right now looking at this Prime and thinking, what I need to do? I need to fill out the G1 Season 1 cast and just kind of slow down a little bit. And then I'm going, holy crap, that's going to kill the wallet.
Yeah, if they're that quality, though. I mean, I said this about Transformers. I have Skyfire / Jetfire here, great quality. From there, they're hit or miss. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good. Agent Knight was pretty good. He's in the other room. This Drift is super old, like Transformer Generations old, but I love him.
Right.
There's a third-party one I want to pick up, but third-party ones are pricey, as you've mentioned.
Yeah, but hey, that Jetfire is definitely on the list. So
yeah,
I'm glad to hear that he's quality.
No regrets at all picking up. He's super cool.
Nice.
Because he fits that. He looks. Do you want him to look like the cartoon? He looks like the cartoon. You want him to look more like the old figure? You put the mask on, you put the armor on, he looks closer to the old figure. And then you get the accessory pack. There's an accessory pack that adds little antenna and stuff that make him look different as well. There's a bunch of them. Like you mentioned about getting the accessory packs for these guys, that's a great idea.
Right.
There's so many little things, gap fillers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen those. I saw DNA Designs came out with a pre-order for the new Galvatron. And I'm looking at that going, oh, man, what do I do now? For like gap filler, not gap fillers for that so much as face plates, the gun, hands that are better.
Well, they'll do it because some of the figures come in, they're great. And then you look at the accessories, you're like, okay, Cliff Jumper. Just regular Cliff Jumper came with this weird gun thing, and I'm like, okay, that's fine and all. But then you're like, the pack comes with the right parts to make him in his ski mode, through the jet, watercraft mode, and a better giant rocket launcher like he used to use. Like, that is where it is. That's where you can get it. Rather than having to spend $100 on a third party one, why don't you just spend $25 on the Hasbro one and then $15 on an accessory pack?
Yeah, that's where things get tricky. Is you're kind of like, well, is it worth it? Like I saw the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. I think he looks good, but not great.
Yeah,
but that accessory pack I could get for him is $40, and he's $35, and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Oh, I think the one I got from Amazon was War for Cybertron, and he is very nice. Comes with 2 little mini formers. One turns into an axe, one turns into a shield.
Okay.
I remember their names because they're stupid. It's Enterax and Shieldor, and I'm like, okay, those are names.
I'll take it.
But he's really cool. I have a couple pictures of him, but
I'll have to look at some of this stuff. I clearly need to improve my Transformers education over the last few years. All right, Ghost Tab. I got CT and Mofex. It's for people that like the character but don't want to pay 80 plus USD. They have QC issues, but worth it for the price. Yeah, I can't argue that $20 for something that even comes close to Mofex is amazing. Let's see. Under the Hula Moon cast, Billy Campbell plays the Rocketeer. Okay.
Billy Campbell, yeah, okay.
Billy
It's also
Campbell.
in the Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Wow.
It's the Texan.
I haven't seen that either. Oh, man. I need help.
Oh, my gosh.
I haven't. There's many things I have to work on here.
But
Bad nerd in all
to be fair,
areas.
there's a lot of stuff I haven't seen as well. Like, I'll throw one out there. People like, I haven't seen Interstellar.
I'm not sure. That was the one with Matt Damon, right?
No. All right.
Oh, McConaughey. All right.
Yeah. Like,
All
and
right.
I only saw Inception like a year and a half ago, first time.
Okay.
Just missed
All
it,
right.
and then sometimes you just don't get a chance to see it.
Yeah, it's weird how much time movies take up. Like the stuff that I have going on when I'm working during the day because I just work from home or wherever is I've got just old episodes of stuff I know by heart, so I'm not tempted to look up. So
Background.
it's not like I use that time to sit there and catch up on my movies, you know? I would love to be able to have that concentration so I could do both at the same time, but that's just not how my brain works.
I used to be able to watch stuff in the background, but when I did my podcast and started reviewing movies as part of it, I couldn't anymore. I had to pay attention. It's changed a lot of movies. A lot of movies I went back and watched like multiple times. I noticed a lot of stuff though.
Oh, that's cool though. That's cool. It's like watching it again and figuring out, oh wow, it's like seeing a new movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
In some cases, very much so.
Tabletop figures might as well be plastic crack. I assume you would agree with that, John.
Truth.
All right, we'll get through a few more of these and then we'll get out of here, everybody. Thank you very much for stopping by. It was a great time. And thanks to John for stopping by and hanging out. It was a blast talking to you tonight as well, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Always good. Yep. I just enjoy having other people on the stream just because this starts flapping and I don't know where it's going sometimes. Let's see. My weakness is Gundam model kits from a design point. The crossbone is my favorite model kit. Let's see. Their amount of hidden feature, the real grade has at $25 USD price point. Small parts though. Gundam model kits do look rad, and I've been looking more and more at 30 minutes missions because they're pretty cheap, and I could use them as like dead Cybertronians.
I mean, honestly, any of the grade they're talking about, real grade, that's like $25 around that area. Great, like they're super cool. And the crossbone I'm looking at now, I'm not super familiar with all the Gundams. That one looks pretty cool as well. Okay.
These things need to be checked out. Hero clicks are great to use with Giant Man and Galactus from HasLab, and both DC and Marvel figures are equals.
Equal size, yeah.
Equal size. Okay, got it.
Yeah, the hero clicks are great. I mean, for that kind of scale stuff, if you want to do photography, they don't hold up close. They're okay. They're pre-painted. They're fine.
Right, but if Galactus is the main thing, and you need some characters in the foreground,
great, because they're pre-painted. You can find some of them. You can find usually they have levels of experience on the figures. You can find the less experienced ones super cheap, and you don't care. You're just like, I just need a Black Widow. I don't care how good it is in the dang game. Just give me a Black Widow.
Yep.
And they come off the base really well. Just need a hobby knife right off the base if you want to.
Dang. Okay. Now you're just talking stuff I know I got to work on. I want to learn how to do more effects pieces, more stuff like that, so I can do less with Photoshop and more with practical. But
I need to do the opposite. I need to do more with Photoshop because I just take pictures and do what I can practically.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like it's tough because Photoshop for me at this point, I wouldn't say it's a crutch, but I just know it really well.
Look, if you're an expert with a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. That's fair, but
people like it's the only tool you have. No, if it's what you're best with, like, I can do this thing. I can do that in Excel. Well, Excel's not perfect for it. No, but I can do it in Excel. Can you do it in this? No, I can do it in Excel.
It's fair. No, it's a great point. It's a great point. Like people will ask me about other programs, and I'm like, I'm sure it can. I don't know how to make it work.
And this is for everyone taking pictures or whatever. Don't let perfect stop you from getting to good enough.
Yep. No, for sure. Like I heard a quote. I can't remember what was it exactly. Somebody was saying somebody went into their mentor or whatever and said, I finally finished the book or whatever. And the person said, you know what the best part about this book is? And they're like, what's that? And he said, the fact it's done. Like, just get things done. And you'll continually, it was something I just heard from Bob Dylan recently as well, is don't look back. Just keep moving forward.
Well,
you blow it, you learn the lesson, you do the next one. Blow it,
well,
learn that lesson, do the next one, you know?
There's a couple things to remember is that we're doing art, photography and all is art. Art is completely subjective, not objective. And art is never finished, just abandoned.
Exactly.
And it's okay. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it bother you. Don't let someone else doing better work than you stop you from doing your work. Just keep going. As long as you take a picture makes you smile, you have succeeded. And I guarantee you we're going to smile too, even if, Dave's pictures look way more better than mine. I don't know. We appreciate it all. We're all trying.
Right. No, and truly, I genuinely believe that every picture, as long as you were stoked to shoot it, is a great picture. Like, truly. Like, I mean, there are things I can talk about and say, okay, ooh, you could try this, you could try this, and everything else. But if you were stoked taking that shot, that's really all you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great call there, John. All right, I bought those CT figs and had 0 QC issues. Nice, they are wonderful. I would say the plastic feels slightly cheaper. Okay,
should be fine as long as you're careful with it.
Right, exactly. And for $20, I would expect it to feel slightly cheaper.
Indeed.
You didn't see Interstellar? You didn't miss much. Just a guy crying because her daughter is sad.
Well, it's one of those movies. Everyone raves about it. You feel like you have to see it to judge it properly.
Right. See, full cloth crossbones, great design. My kryptonite is the Gundam 00 line, 00 line. That sounds bad. That sounds like, see, whenever I hear somebody say something's their kryptonite, I almost don't want to check it out because I'm afraid it will also become my kryptonite.
I mean, you've already seen my kryptonite, Alf.
That's true.
Apparently that's
my
John Alf and Snake Eyes. I mean, I have a brand apparently.
And many timbers. All right, guys. I think, John, are you good with calling it a night?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks to everyone for showing up. It is much appreciated. And so, until next time, have fun and happy snapping. Talk to you all next time. John, thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate it, man.
No, thanks for having me. I appreciate it very much.
You bet. We'll talk soon, and feel free to email me again anytime you want to come on and chat.
You got it.
See you guys.